Good morning, guys. Welcome to another episode of I.Am.She.
Good morning. How is everyone? Ooh. Oh,
Okay,
tired much?
I'm here. I'm black. I'm alive.
Okay, heavy on the black.
You
Heavy on the
said
black.
what?
I
I
said
like
heavy on
this
the black.
background.
You like that?
I like this background. The background is given.
Of the show thing that Nate put up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too.
I like this
I
background.
like the colors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
But how is
morning,
everything?
guys.
It's Saturday. It's cold outside, and we're here.
Oh shit! I'm like, wait a
You
minute. It's
crying?
cold.
What, you had a long night?
I don't know. I have no long night. I just woke up extra early. I woke up at like 6:30 for some reason. My body just woke me up and was like, and I couldn't go back to sleep. I literally put the thing. I had this thing I put over my eyes, and I closed the curtain back, but I couldn't go back to sleep. I don't know why. I was just up. But it's crazy because yesterday I was in the barbershop until like, I want to say like 8 o'clock last night
Mhm. Mhm.
because it took that long for all them kids to get their hair cut. Um, I'm gonna wake up. I'm gonna wake up, yeah.
Mhm.
Anyway, good morning. It's
Happy
Saturday.
Saturday. I know, right? It's
I know. I
Saturday.
keep seeing the CA events. I know you going to some. You always go.
CI
CI. I said CA, Lord. I told you I'm still asleep. I'm wake up. I know you going to some of those events. You always end up going to the events. I've been seeing a lot of them around the city. A lot of the CIAA events around the city. I've been seeing a lot of. I think they had some type of event where I seen them like putting up like little stands and booths and stuff. I don't know where that was, but I keep seeing that pop up. I keep seeing those pop up. I seen something where 92Q was doing something too.
Yeah,
I saw
everybody
that
was
this
doing some of everything. Can y'all hear me?
yeah, I can hear you.
Do I sound muffled or low?
No.
Okay. Well, yeah, everybody was doing some of everything. They had a whole bunch of free events. They had step shows. They had a free battle of the bands yesterday. I don't know if a lot of people got a chance to attend because it was early part of the day. It was like 11 to 2. So I know a lot of people probably didn't get a chance to go. 92Q had a bunch of events. They have a ton of parties. They have a ton of events going on today as well. Tomorrow, I believe, is the last day for the whole tournament. So this week in Baltimore has been really, really, really exciting to see everybody outside, just enjoying life, having fun, especially on Thursday. Thursday was so beautiful outside. It was like 75 degrees. Everybody was outside. Everybody was just smiling. It just felt so good to see everybody just out and about and doing things. So yeah, we really, this is going to be happening for the next 7 years. So this is the second year that it's here. So we got 5 more years of this. So there's plenty and plenty of time to experience CIAA weekend. Even if you don't go to the basketball games, just at least try to go to one of the events. Some of them are free, some of them are not. So just try to go to some events next year if God's willing and you're here, it's really a great experience, especially to experience some of the things that they have going on. Last year I went to a step show. I wanted to go this year, but I didn't get a chance to go to the
So
step
what
show this
did
year.
they
It was
lower the
yesterday.
budget?
Huh?
Oh, I'm sorry. Hey,
I didn't get to go to a step show this year, but I really wanted to go. But yeah, it's a ton of events going on, y'all. You know how I go.
and I
So do
just
they
hope
have it the
that the
same time
city will
everywhere?
allow it to keep going instead of
Yeah, yeah.
them trying to
Mm-hmm.
outcharge people.
Yeah, it's supposed to be here for the next. It was supposed
So
to be
do
here
they
for 7 years, so it started last year, and then I guess we got 5 more years. So hopefully they'll extend it after that, after the 7th year or whatever they come up with an agreement on.
so is it the same time every year?
Yes, it's the same time every year. Every year in February.
In February.
Yeah,
Oh
the last. I
God.
think it's like the last week. I think it's like every year the last week of February.
Hmm.
Yeah. It
Last
was
week in
really good to
February.
see all the HBCUs that are here. It's really good to see
Yeah.
all of the just black faces. Just it felt so good to just see a bunch of black faces. Everything was going on, and they redid the arena, so the arena is up and now. It's like I think it's had a certain amount. They still have other work to do, but the arena is up and it's running and it's looking good. It's so yeah, they got things coming, and
So
this
they
is
have
really
events
bringing
on.
a huh.
Go ahead.
So this is really just a great event for the city, just a great experience for the city, because we get such a bad rep all the time for all the negativity and things that goes on in the city. But it was just so good to see something positive here, something good
Mm.
going on and it was just a week of things, so that's really good. There's a new HBCU store that's downtown now and at the Inner Harbor. It's they sell all HBCU gear. I thought that was very phenomenal to have. I don't know if it's just like a pop-up store or if it's a permanent store, but if you are listening and you want to go down there, they got all types of stuff. They got Morgan, they got Coppin, they got all the HBCU gear that you can think of. It's right down there, right downtown, at the harbor, where I think it's where the old Build-A-Bear factory was, because they put Build-A-Bear right there. I think it's anyway, it's right beside the Cheesecake Factory. So yeah. But what you was about to ask?
Oh, I was getting ready to say, so they have events all around the city, not just in one particular place, right?
Yeah, it's
All
all
around the
even
city.
out in Bowie. Some of their stuff at Bowie State University.
Yep. It's stuff all
Okay.
around the city.
Okay.
Yep. All
Okay.
around.
Nate, you go to any of them events? I know you went to Compton. Do you ever go to any of the events?
I mean I went to one of the games out Bowie, and I didn't go to any of the other events, and that's only because one of my friends is a player, so I went to go support him. But this is an event that is definitely needed in the city because it's been very beneficial to the other cities that it's been in, and I just
Yes.
hope that the city continues to do the work that they need to do, like construction, all this stuff downtown, making downtown accessible, and really, supporting those businesses so we can infuse more stuff for people to be able to do. I don't
And
understand how they're closing down the shopping district downtown, which was very small to begin with. But it's sad. It's all you can do now is eat and go to Marshalls. That's it.
That's it. That's it. Eat and go to Marshalls.
Marshalls
Eat
is
and
the
go to
well,
Marshalls.
only thing that's really left down there.
But I do want to say this. I am noticing there was a lot of black owned or black
Hmm.
hands inside of a lot of events that's happening right in the harbor.
Hmm.
There was something called Center Court where they took the old Barnes and Nobles and made it to like a basketball themed type
Yeah.
restaurant, and they had the biggest happy hour ever. They
Yeah.
did that Thursday night, and it was just looking at the pictures, it looked phenomenal. It looked amazing, like just to
I
see all
think
the people that were there.
Tasha, Darian, is it Deron and
The
Tasha? Them
run.
they had an event.
Yeah, they're
They
having
had an
their
event.
event today. Their event is today at the Patapsco Arena. It's free.
Hmm.
Once again, it's free. So when the last time you got into a free party? The party is
Yeah.
totally free. So go to the Patapsco Arena today if you got time. The party is from 2 to 7, I believe. So if you got some time, go to the Patapsco Arena. It's a lot of the black restaurants that throwing a lot of brunches, a lot of happy hour specials, a lot of happy hour little things today. So if you can go out today and you're listening and you're in the Baltimore area, feel free, have fun. I know the stadium is the M&T Bank Stadium is having a party. Flywire is throwing a very huge party there today. It's a day party. Very nice. I'm not gonna keep dropping names because ain't nobody sponsoring me to do this. But yeah, it's a lot of things going on.
I just hope that
a lot of things going on.
That's right. Don't mention no names. But I just hope what I'm seeing from like this is the second year, and like you say, you just hope that everything stays positive. I do like the fact that I'm not hearing anything negative about anybody shooting or anything like that. So I hope it continues to stay peaceful in that way, and people are actually entertained and not, just being negative and coming down with a lot of negativity or just little dumb things. People just somebody stepped on my shoe, stuff like that.
I mean, of course, wherever you go, there's gonna be some drama because we're in Baltimore City. So, what is
But that's
Baltimore
what
without
makes
a
them
little bit of
shut.
drama?
But that's part of what makes them start shutting stuff down and start making people deter away from having things in Baltimore. So that's why I said I just hope that it continues to be positive and makes
And
no
it was
negativity.
never every time I went, because this was like the pre-spring break type of go out and do something for colleges. I just I never saw any issues in any other cities. So Baltimore needs to just do what it needs to do and get it done. So we're not
Yeah.
losing yet another one like we lost the animes and all those big conferences and such. We need to just get it together. And part of that is the leadership of the city putting a priority on the city versus just, catering to these businesses, only these big white businesses, basically. But yeah.
Especially Ellicott City.
Hmm. Right. That should have just
Especially
went
who?
under in the water.
Ellicott City.
Oh yeah.
That's doing what for us? Nothing.
Nothing. You're right.
But
So let me get into my hot topics for today. had a couple, y'all. It's gonna be good. The first one I wanted to talk about is the Brett is pregnant. Oh my God, that was such big news that came out this week that she's pregnant. She's expecting her and her wife's first child together. I do know her wife has 3 kids, I believe, and I believe she might have a grandchild. But her wife already has 3 kids. This is the Brett's first kid. She is 48 years old and looking
Mm.
gorgeous as ever and looking very beautiful. I am so proud and happy for her that she is having her very first kid. With that being said, I noticed a lot of people were saying things like, she's a stud, so why is she the one that's carrying the baby? Like, isn't she like a, well, first of all, I just want to say she has never proclaimed herself to be a stud. She wears makeup, she does all the girly things, she does things that makes her still feel like she's the woman that she is, because she's never came out and verbally said like, I'm a stud, this is the way I prefer to be, to be called or whatever. But I want people to stop the negative thoughts behind a stud woman being able to, even if she was just, identified as a stud. I want them to stop with the negative connotation that a stud should not be having a baby or carrying a baby. Because I know a lot of women now, even
Still a
stud women
female.
who are going through, right, exactly, who are going through IVF and who are going through these different fertility things, they still are women and they still want to be able to carry a child. I know a lot of stud women who are just wanting to be mothers, but they can't. They're afraid of the backlash that they're gonna get, because the first thing that people say, or first thing people think when
But
a
that's
stud get
not.
pregnant is she
First
was
of
getting
all,
some penis.
it was never my plan to. I'm so sorry. Let me turn my mic on.
Okay.
So
What I wanted to
it's my
say,
thing is, go ahead.
go ahead. You still gonna go. I'm sorry.
Oh no. So my thing is this. It's like, as a stud, as a woman who identifies as a stud, I want people to stop with the negative connotation that they are not able to carry children or they shouldn't carry children. Because nowhere in the Bible, or I mean, not even the Bible, nowhere in society should anybody think that because she dresses butchy, or she looks like this or she looks like that, that at the end of the day, her genetic makeup is still a female. So still has ovaries. I'm pretty sure she still has periods. So she can carry a baby. Like, she can carry a baby.
Can I ask, do y'all know if it was a reason behind her wife not carrying it? Does anybody know? I didn't really get too much into that story.
I believe the wife did. The wife was pregnant of like last year, maybe earlier part of last year. I believe, if I can remember correctly, the wife was pregnant, but I believe that that she miscarried. So I'm not sure if they just felt like it would be
Okay.
safer for Brett to
So that
do
makes
it,
sense.
but yeah, that makes sense. It
That
makes
But
a
makes
if
lot of
y'all
sense.
look
sense.
I
at
do
their
believe.
reality show, if you look at their
Mm-hmm.
reality show, one of the things is Judy is older than Brett and didn't
Yeah,
want to
Judy
go
is older
through the
than Brett.
complications again of carrying, and she wanted her to
Mm-hmm.
also feel the Brett has never had a child. She wanted her
Right.
to.
That's what I was getting ready to
Yeah,
say.
she's
Yeah.
never
That
had
would
a
make
kid.
sense if she's never had a child. That would make sense. It would probably be a lot more um it would probably be a lot more healthier if she
Exactly.
never carried a baby. I would think that,
Exactly.
especially, if that lady just
It's
had
still
a
gonna be high
miscarriage.
risk for her. It's still gonna be high risk for
Huh?
Brett
Yeah, for her
because Brett
age,
is
yeah.
Oh yeah,
in
it's
her
still gonna
late
be high
40s.
risk because she's in her late
But
40s.
listen, I worked at an OBGYN office and I have seen women coming there at 60 years old. I had a lady, I was helping one of my friends. She had to go to the bathroom. So I happened to walk past and she did check in, but she had to go to the bathroom. So I sat down in her seat. And this lady checked in and I felt bad. No, she was checking out and I felt bad because I was like, are you making an appointment for next year? She was like, no, in 2 weeks. I said, for what? Like that, but I felt so bad because she looked so freaking old. She was like in her 60s. But I was just having my friends sit down. I was like, what type of appointment are you making to come back in 2 weeks? And she was like, oh, a OBGYN appointment. And it's so common now. What I found out is that in talking to a lot of those patients when I first started there, is that they plan and they wait until they're financially stable enough, especially a lot of the women that are not, mostly, I'm gonna say mostly, most of the women that I've talked to and working at the OBGYN office who are of Caucasian race,
Hmm.
they usually wait until they have some financial stability, because it is true. I mean, look at
Exactly.
all of us in our community that out here struggling and things like
Exactly.
that to raise one
Exactly.
child. So
Exactly.
it's becoming more common that these women are waiting
Mm-hmm.
until they have careers.
And not
And
even that, a lot of women are choosing to not do it at all. A lot of
right.
women are choosing to not have children. A lot of women
And
are
it's
choosing to say,
fine.
listen, I
And
value
it's
my
fine.
freedom. I don't want no kids.
Right. And it's fine. You
Very
don't
much
have
so.
to. It's fine. It's fine. I just
Very much
think
so.
when it comes to celebrities overall, it's always going to be some
Mm-hmm.
backlash behind everything
Always.
they do. It's always going to
Always.
be some backlash. I mean, why at the end of the day, it's like, why do people even care? Most people don't even, I mean, they was talking about her when she came out. They was talking about her when she got married to a female. They
But
just been
listen,
talking about her. They just been finding.
I was watching a TikTok the other day about the Brat, and somebody was like, talking about the whole gay thing, and I'm like, they were like, it wasn't no need for her to come out because we already kind of knew. And
Right.
that's like the same thing with Queen Latifah. It ain't no need for Queen Latifah to come out because we already kind of knew. It's just
Right.
one of those, you
But
kind of know
I,
when you
I
know that
in
somebody's.
the space of for people coming out, um, and this is the program I used to work with young people. I think some people want to do it because it's not about necessarily sharing something or feeling obligated to tell people, but
Mm-hmm.
people
Mm-hmm.
assume things without even knowing, and that's the difference. So people have
Okay.
always assumed that she was gay, but didn't know that she was having whole relationships. Like she was in a whole relationship with Alvin
Sure.
Iverson.
Yeah, she sure
Like
was. She
it,
sure
it
was.
and you have to still give people their freedom, but I think it's tougher for people in this world because for her it was a thing of somebody coming out actually reporting on her relationship with Judy, and she decided to do it before the article had a chance to do it, and it's really
Yeah, that
hard
makes
because
sense.
people
That makes
like
sense.
why I don't understand why we do that, why we put
I
people
don't
under the
understand why
fire
we're
in
always
that
so caught up
way.
in I don't understand why we're always so caught up in somebody's sexuality. Because this is the funny thing about people and just America in general. We always talk about sex, sex, sex. Ugh, it's a taboo, but be at the same token be questioning people's sexuality. Like what?
Right.
Definitely. I would definitely say that. One of the other things I just really wanted to touch on was what you were saying, Nate, about what you was just saying about her coming out. I
Hmm.
think I I think one of the biggest things is when it comes in when it comes to celebrities, I think according to your stature and what you're a celebrity for, it counts too. Because look how nobody gave backlash to Ellen.
Well, no, her show was canceled, so she got a lot of backlash. Her show was
Who?
canceled. Um,
Queen Latifah?
Ellen, because Ellen came out in the
No, Ellen.
Ellen.
'90s,
Oh yeah.
uh,
Oh,
so she
Ellen
got
came
But
out
a
to
lot
be.
of
Oh yeah, she
backlash
got a lot of.
because
Yeah,
she
she got
came
a lot
out
of
what
on
show?
backlash.
her
Hold on.
TV
I thought she just had I'm talking about the Ellen show. What show? She had
Yeah,
another
her
show
show
before
got
that?
canceled. No, her show
Yeah,
got
she had
canceled.
her
No,
They
I
took
own
thought
down
she
Ellen's
TV
show.
started
show
everything
back
on
in
her
the '90s.
show.
Oh, I don't know
Oh,
about.
see, I didn't know that.
Oh,
I didn't
Are
know
you
that.
talking
I didn't
about
know
yeah,
she.
her
Ellen? You're speaking about Ellen?
Yeah.
Ellen had a
Ellen talk show
sitcom
got
in the
canceled.
Oh,
'90s,
She
she
did have
and
a
did
she
have
sitcom in
a
the
came out.
90s.
sitcom. You're
She
Right,
did.
right.
she came out. She basically came out on the Rosie O'Donnell show, and because
Mm-hmm.
of that,
Mm-hmm.
they canceled her show after that, which was doing very well. So she got a lot of backlash for that. But
No.
I don't like to compare. I don't like when as black people we compare white issues with black issues because it affects
Mm-hmm.
everybody in some way. Because show business,
Exactly.
they don't want, especially at that time and even now,
That's what
it's a
I was.
taboo. Even though many people are able to do it, but I
Mm-hmm.
know there was a similarity because Ellen lost a lot. In today's world, is more acceptable. So she didn't
Mhm.
really lose anything. I'm sure that she still got hate mail and people not wanting her to do certain things, but that's why she's had to resort to doing radio probably because nobody's gonna really who's hiring her to be in movies or TVs because they don't know what to do with us as black people. And then when you add
Right.
gay on top of it, it's really oh my God, how are we gonna market you, or how are we gonna you can market us the same way you marketed Doogie Howser, the little white guy. Well, he's
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
not a little guy anymore. He's old ass man. But they still hire him. They still hire him to
Mhm.
play
Right.
straight parts. It's just for black artists, we have to walk such a fine
That's
line
what I'm trying to
because they are
say.
always telling us it's not marketable and what people not going to want to see. And look at us watching P Valley. Look at us watching, being fans of T.S.
Pose.
Madison and
Look us
Pose.
watching
Look at us
Pose.
watching all these things.
Mm-hmm.
RuPaul Drag Race. Look at us watching all
Yeah.
these things for them to tell us, and they're still telling people well, that's a fluke. That's just happening because, but they tell us that as black artists. So I can only imagine the type of hate that she's getting.
Yeah, me
Right.
too.
And that's what I was trying to touch on. I think I just said it in the wrong way when I said it depends according to their like status. When I mean status, I mean I feel like it really boils down to exactly what they're doing. Like baseball players that come out, African American baseball players, basketball players that come out, football players
Mhm.
that come out, rappers, particularly artists. It really
Men,
just depends. I
it
feel like they
happens more to
feel
the men.
yeah, and I feel like they
Mm-hmm.
have to hide more within their shadow than let's say uh actress or actor. I feel like they have to
Oh
hide
yeah,
more within
yeah.
But it's
themselves.
more,
It's
and
Or
I'm
a
gonna say
singer, or
honestly,
even a
it has
singer for that
been
matter.
just watching a lot of my friends who may be on Broadway now. A lot of people that's it's old black actors or singers or performers, male, that are now coming out of the closet at 60 and 70 years old, and it's only
Mm.
because we can't pretend as if we didn't make concessions for these people and spaces, safe spaces for these people back like
Mm-hmm.
5, 10 years ago. People are a
Right.
lot of us, and I do it sometimes too. But at the same time, we did. It wasn't something we did. Your mother may have had a gay best friend, but look how she really treated him. Was that her good girlfriend when her man came around or when her brothers were around? No, like, but there were communities where it was acceptable, but those were very rare instances. But
Yeah.
in today's
Yeah.
world, like you said, the athletes, and we still shame them. Look at what we're
Mhm.
doing to Zaya, uh, who only wanted to express herself the way she felt on the inside. But a black father is getting criticized for doing it from the black mother. And
Mm-hmm.
those roles used to be reversed at one point. But we
Right.
finally have men that are standing up, black men that are standing up and being allies for these people, and then they're getting crucified or accused of being gay or whatever have you, just because people are still not comfortable with it. And then people need to realize there are people still being killed. It's just not being reported.
Right.
The same,
That's true.
missing women and children aren't being reported. It's just not popular news unless it's somebody rich white child or rich white anything. That's the only time it's being reported. But I live in Charles Village, and there's a gay prostitute killed or harmed every week, and it's never
Mm.
on the news. Never. But
That is true. That is definitely true.
Wow.
Now that you say that, and I'm thinking back, that is definitely true. You almost, unless it's something like big, like that transsexual, I believe it was like somewhere down south that got assaulted. It was on video, and
hmm
unless it's something that everybody is recording and it's actually on video and people are actually posting, that is true. You absolutely never hear about transgender prostitutes or anything of that nature in Baltimore. You never hear about them being harmed or killed in Baltimore. I have never, as far as I can think back. You are correct. You absolutely correct on that
well, this
one.
goes into so I'll ask you all because you're two black women with black boys as children or a man, but uh, this gay agenda that is being pushed out there is no different than the women's liberation or the women's movement or the Me Too movement agenda that's out there, or the Asian agenda, or the the brown people agenda, so on and so forth. But for some reason, the quote unquote gay agenda is being pushed as this demasculating um, of black men versus it's just a lot of people with a voice now that are able to fight against uh, this type of discrimination. Do you all feel that? And you can be honest. Like, do you feel like there's an agenda for black men to be gay?
In my opinion, I don't think there's an agenda for black men to be gay. Um, but I do feel like we as a society are making it seem like, oh my god, they're pushing the gay agenda on everything, because now when you look at it, every show, damn near every show, has a gay character or
Character.
has a gay couple, so I wouldn't say that that's an agenda being pushed. It's just that it's our reality now. A lot of people are coming out as gay or whatever they want to be, but I don't think it's an agenda being pushed. It's all about how you perceive it. And now I'm in my mind, I'm thinking that it's just now what we're saying is deeming as our reality. It's the reality
But
of it. It's just that.
how
Go ahead.
different is that? How different is that from now? There's a black woman on every show as a lead, or there's a black vice president, or there's a black Supreme Court justice,
Well,
female
I feel
justice.
like,
I don't
in
see
my
how it's
opinion,
any different though.
this is my most humble opinion. I think it's
Hmm.
different because, and this is my most humble opinion, I think it's
Hmm.
different because black people, I mean, not black people, gay people are not being villainized, versus black women will always be a villain. You know what I'm saying? So
Say
it's
that one
not
more
it's not it's
time.
not a
Say that from the top one more time.
I said it's different because black women are always being villainized. We're always deemed as the villain. So being gay is not being a villain. It's some people are deeming it as unchristian like, but
Right.
never have gay people been villainized. You get what
Right.
I'm saying? So
That's
I
true.
have
everything
to,
that the black
but
woman
you
does.
have to see, but you and I understand being a black woman. That experience is horrible. That experience has been just crazy from your birth and beyond that. But we are not taking a moment as individuals to really walk in someone else's shoes. Because for you to say that being gay has never been villainized, it is against the law for them to be married. It is against the law for them to simply be who they are. It's against the law. I've had to experience being fired from jobs because a parent, because I work in the school system, and a father or mother has seen me while they were in the same club I was in, and now they're uncomfortable with me being around their child. And
Mm-hmm.
is no competition. Is no competition between being a black man and a black woman, or being uh, a gay person and a straight. Is There's no competition because we've all
There is
had
no
it hard in
competition.
terms of being black.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
the difference
Exactly.
is, I think what I think the broader demographic is seeing is they're seeing white people. They're not seeing other black people who are gay, who are going through things. They are seeing white people who are able to do whatever they want to do, no matter what age they are, whatever sexual orientation they are, whatever economical level they are. But what the cisgendered individuals need to understand that gay black people are suffering just as much as black people are for the same reason. The women's lib movement, where women took over the Me Too, white women took over the Me Too movement. Well, the same thing happened in the gay movement. The white people took it over, and they're not fighting for black gay people no more than white women are fighting for black men.
That's just
all
like
women.
the feminist movement.
And
That's just
I
like the
just want to
feminists.
finish this
White people are not
because
white
people are
feminists are
there's
not
some
really fighting.
exactly
White feminists are not really fighting for all
nope
feminists out here.
nope
White feminists are really fighting for white women.
Right,
nope.
You know,
yeah.
that's just like the feminist movement is not
White
meant for black
Republicans
women.
aren't
Black
fighting
women,
for
in my
all
opinion, black
Republicans. They
women should
fighting
not be
for
participating
white
in the
Republicans.
feminist movement.
That's true.
Huh?
I agree with that.
Nope. Nope.
With what?
I agree with what you said
However
about the
beneficial it has been to some degree, we still need our own as black people in general. We need
Exactly.
our own. We need our own things and not to be afraid of calling it black. But we also have to be very inclusive into what that word black means. Black also means black and gay. Black also means black and Hispanic. Black also means black and Republican. It means so many different things. It's not just the one image of a black man and a black
black
woman that
people.
we've been
Yeah.
painted over the years. But we have to
Absolutely, it
understand
does.
that we're in this
It
fight
is.
together. Do
But
you
the
know? Do
thing
you
is,
realize it was a
but
black gay man who organized the March on Washington and was not able to even take credit for it because they thought it would muddy and dirty the image of the civil rights movement. That was a black gay man who spearheaded that. The same way there was two black women, a couple who spearheaded this movement after Freddie Gray, the Black Lives Matter movement. It was still
Mm.
it's
right.
both of those were both started by queer individuals, and they're not being given credit for that. Now look how as black people we've discredited the Black Lives Matter movement because it was started by two gay women. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
we're still doing the same thing. That was all we had in the last 10 years, and then as soon as we found out two lesbians were in charge of it, oh well, they getting over, or they trying to demasculate the. It's weird to me.
It's very
I
weird.
thought the Black Lives I thought the Black Lives Matter movement was kind of like pushed off because they said they was stealing the money or funds or something like that.
Well,
Or
that
was that
came
just
after
Oh,
the fact.
I
That
mean,
only came out like
yeah,
last year. That only came out like last year. But
the
you
last
have to
couple
think the
years,
Black
yeah.
Lives Matter been going on for what, the last 5 years? Maybe more, 10
Mhm.
years. So
I don't
her
Right.
have.
stealing money only came out just last year.
But the thing
Mhm.
is, that's the thing. That's the other thing that destroys our causes, that destroys our movements, is that we as people, and I don't care if anybody disagrees with it, but you always see it. Something always ends up coming
Mhm.
out the same way. Not to discredit and say, oh, white people don't, because they do the same thing. They steal too. But I wish we would just stop, because it's like we already are being, it's like the spotlight is already on us. Once we create these movements, once we create these positive things that we're doing, I just wish we would stop going to a side of just things that they're doing,
So
because
you saying
it
stop fraud
really,
altogether. So basically what
basically,
you're saying is
it
we stop
really
fraud. But
yeah,
here's the
because
thing.
it really.
This is what I get what you're saying, but when it comes down to shit like that, it's because, like you said, all these white people be stealing too. Corporations and everything, all these hospitals, all these big corporations, these politicians, everybody steals.
Stealing,
But
right.
it's like, oh, let's put a spotlight on these, because it's already like, I get what you're saying. It's
And I
already like we're
hate
being looked
it.
at anyway in a negative light,
Yeah.
like such things such as the Black Lives Matter movement. Everybody's already looking at that, and all lives matter, all lives matter. Like, I get that, but it's like you can't expect big corporations and big movements and big things like this and not expect somebody to be stealing. Look at the mayor. She was stealing gift cards. You know what I'm saying? It's just a part
But
of. I just
listen,
want to say
listen,
it has nothing
listen
to
to
do
this
with
real
skin
quick.
color. It has something to do with being
Right.
a human. That's what humans do. That's just a part of some people's
But also
genetic
you have to
makeup.
also look at you but you also have to look at a lot of those things were usurped by the media and their opposing forces and made
Exactly.
out to be.
Exactly. Exactly.
And when you talk about the gift card, Sheila Dixon, whether we want to believe it or not, that was a setup. It was a setup because the people involved, once it came out, they turned on her and had their own best interest at heart. That's the end all be all to it. The I said I was about to say something totally different. The Black Lives Matter movement. It wasn't the main organization that got caught stealing. It was all the copycat organizations that they were starting in other cities, and people feeling the need to catch in on the money grab.
And that's what
It
I
was
hate. And
never
that's one of
Black
the
Lives Matter. It was people who were using the name Black Lives Matter, and that's criminals no matter where you go, which needs to stop. It needs to be
right.
stopped.
That's what I'm trying to say. At the end of the day, that's what I'm trying to say. I hate that they make when we try to come up with doing these positive things within our community, how we have our own people that are ruining the name and that are tarnishing the name by doing these things. Like, but they're the same people that, when you see the politicians come out, like these white politicians, oh, they were stealing in the board of education. And when they steal, it's like, oh, you stole from our education. Our kids don't have books. Our kids don't have things. But it's the same community that when we try to implement these positive things, to make us more relevant as a community, as people, that you have those people that are in it for their own agendas. And I hate it because I feel like we're always under a microscope. We always under a spotlight. So it just bothers me that people are still doing that.
One of y'all, just real quick, make sure you don't have the show playing on your device because I think I'm hearing feedback from one, and I can't tell which one it is. I really understand what both of you ladies are saying, and it's something for me that is something that I'm trying to figure ways around in terms of how do we attack the issues of our communities, and it's a big question and it's a big solution, and it's going to take more than just one solution. But
It definitely is.
the internal fighting, the internal finger pointing, the internal sabotage has to stop. We have to stop. We have to stop trying to be like them. We have to stop we have to stop trying to be accepted by them. We have to go back to a lot of the values that we had, and they were criminals from, Africa to present. So we can't discredit that there wasn't people trying to make an opportunity that look like
Right.
us. But what we have to do is stop them. And how we stop them is we have to be united in our front. Right now, Baltimore is going through a real crazy space where people elected a person, and now because he's not being who they want him to be, which is who he really is, they're now pulling the rug from underneath him. And we're going to see that in the next couple years with a lot of these black leaders that we forced and pushed into the positions that they're in because
Mhm.
we don't know how to really work together. And when we have a disagreement, is ways around it. You know, I have done
I'm
podcasts for
anxious.
years, and they didn't lose. They didn't last because people didn't know how to work together. And it's just all it is communicating. It's effective communication.
I'm just anxious to see how things are going to play out with us having our first black governor,
I
and
was very
how,
cool.
I know he's not the Messiah,
Just
and
pray
he's not,
for 'em.
he's not, but I'm just anxious to see how things are going to play out, what things are going to come about. I'm just anxious to see.
Mhm.
That's crazy that I feel like that. And every time I see a video, that they show of him on social media or any videos, is that me?
Mm-hmm.
I think it
Okay.
is you. Do you have another device on?
No, I just turned it on. Go ahead.
Or
I'm
you
going out
may
and
have it
come back
playing, yeah, the volume. Just turn the volume down if you have it on like another phone or something. Or
in. I
mute
don't.
it. Okay. Go ahead.
But
Well,
yeah, what I was
no, go ahead.
saying was that's just something like it's like every time that I see videos and I see like news reports and stuff of him, it's like I cringe because I'm like, please just do the right thing. Please just do the right thing. Don't let no come out over the next couple of, years or so. Just please just do the right thing. Just please, Lord, don't have no scandals come out. Don't have no side chicks come out. Just nothing. Just please do the right
But
thing.
he's human, though, man. He's human. If we find out the deal tomorrow, that Obama cheated on his wife, that doesn't take away the job that he did or the job that he's doing.
They make it so, though. That's what I hate. I hate that they make it so that they push.
We make our leaders almost Jesus-like. That's crazy.
We treat our leaders like we treat celebrities, like they are perfect. And at the end of the day, they're not. Human. They're just human.
And
they're
we
human.
put them on those pedestals, and the moment they just and then, I remember when it happened to me with Martin Luther King. When I found out he cheated on his wife, I literally was devastated. Never met this man. Man never brought me money.
That man was dead and gone before you was even thought about.
Dead and gone before I was even thought about. Before he basically died right before my mother was born.
Okay, he was dead and gone for my own mama.
Neither one of us was thought about. It was, but I was devastated because I had put him in a space of
you put
greatness.
him in this box because that's what they wanted us to do.
He still holds that space for me. But I also look at him as a grown man. And because I'm a grown man now, I know what temptation is. I know what weakness is. I know what falling short is. But it no longer takes away the value of who he is. I still hug Sheila Dixon every time I see her. Because she's still the same person in my book, no matter what mistakes she may have made with a man. I still look at her as the greatness, and the only person right now who can really fix our city is her. But no one's going to allow it to happen. Mm-hmm. But I still see the flaws in.
We're not going to allow it to happen because we just want to point fingers and say, "See, I told you." See, this is the thing I don't like about Baltimore. I love this city. I love this city with all my heart. But I don't like the fact that we are a bunch of fucking finger pointers, and it's just like, see, I told you so. I told you, and it's like you didn't even get a damn person a chance.
The biggest lesson I ever had in life.
The person that can make it right, we don't want to let them make it right because we want to keep thinking about the shit that they did in the past. I voted for Sheila.
But the one lesson that my great-grandmother taught me, the one lesson I'll never forget that my great-grandmother taught me, she said, every time you point a finger, it's 3 pointing back.
It's 3 of them pointing right back at you.
And we never see our contribution to something. We never see our part in a matter.
Absolutely not. This is my thing with this city. Y'all want Brandon Scott to... Y'all act like Brandon Scott's supposed to be at every scene of every murder, every scene of every fire, every scene of every little fucking thing that go on in this city. But y'all be the main ones harboring the criminals right in y'all goddamn house talking about he need to do something about the crime. Lord Ray, you just seen this little nigga shoot the whole corner, bitch. What are you talking
your cousin. It be your whole cousin. Your whole son.
But then here's the part that I don't like, because as soon as it happens to them and it comes to their doorstep, as soon as death come knocking at their door, and Lil Ray Ray done got killed, now they want to act like Lil Ray Ray went out here terrorizing motherfuckers. No. Ain't no justice for Lil Ray Ray. He done shot 18 people in 2 weeks.
I just spoke to my husband about something like that. I started following Murder Inc. And I saw something like that.
Why you done?
Because it's so much truth in that.
I'm tired.
You don't realize it until it's your child.
Until death is knocking at your doorstep. Until death is at your doorstep, we don't think about it. We don't.
So I literally just, can y'all hear me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I literally just saw that on Murder Inc. It was a young lady that they posted up there. There was a young lady that they posted up there. And she had got shot, I think like multiple times. She got shot in the head and she got shot in the upper body. And I'm reading the comments. Sometimes I go into the comments just to find out who the person was or anything like that. So I'm reading.
Girl, that's what I do too.
And so everybody's saying like little sweet stuff like, "Oh my God, not her. Oh my God, why would they do it to her?"
I know which one you're talking about. Then in the same post, in the next post when they posted her picture, they calling her all types of junkies.
Carjacker. She was a carjacker.
Listen, it's not funny, but I know which post you're talking about. They was all like, "Oh my God, her kids." But when they posted her face in that very next post, they like, "Oh, she was a junkie. She was this. She was that. She was that."
Jacker.
This was the same thing that happened a few years ago. This one girl, I know her name vividly. I know her name was Holly. She was a black girl. She was a young black girl, and she got killed. But everybody's like, "Oh my God, she didn't deserve that. She didn't deserve that." But it came out that Holly was one of the motherfuckers out here setting up niggas to get robbed and killed. So now when Holly got her dumb ass killed, now y'all want to be hollering about Holly didn't deserve it. Yes, the fuck she did. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. Yes. Holly was the one doing it.
But see, a lot of those people, you have to understand two things. That stop snitching culture, which started from a nigga.
It's so disgusting.
Which started from a dude who was, can I say this out loud? Stop snitching culture that started from a dude that was so deep in the closet and lying about every aspect of his life.
Exactly.
And this trying to figure that was started by that one.
And then listen, when his son got killed, it was what? "Oh, please go tell him. See if y'all know anything about who killed my son. Go tell who killed my son." Not you started the stop snitching culture, and then you want somebody to go give out information on your son who's been murdered. Absolutely not.
And he didn't. And I have to take that back. He didn't start it, but he definitely marketed it. And had a bigger platform because of dumbass Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah.
But the
whole stop snitching code was for drug dealers who were snitching on other drug
criminals
dealers.
In general.
It has nothing to do with if you sitting on a corner and you know, and I get it. And I feel like this is where we got it so misconstrued, and we done use it for 59 million different meanings that it wasn't even meant for. But it's like if you saw somebody pull out a gun and go shoot that other person, and you know that they shot them, that's not snitching. That's not me snitching on you. That's me telling that you murdered this person. And then, but it's also the point of a lot of people don't want to get involved because of witness intimidation. People has been shot. People have been killed. People's houses have been burned. People have been, look at the Dawson family on Biddle Street. When they was trying to get the drug dealers to stop hustling in front of the house that they just bought, and the damn people done burnt down these people's house and killed the whole family.
They blew up that house. Some people blew their house up.
A more recent event, the little 18-year-old boy that got killed up in Emerson Village Shopping Center during school hours. They done shot his fucking family house.
Yeah, they had to move. They want to move out because they shot the family out. Yeah.
Like, what the hell? It's so sad. Like the culture that we're living in, and in the way that we are.
It's so man-made, though. Now
so man-made. It is so man-made.
Individuals like the snitching. You snitching now. Like it's so a part of our vernacular, and it's crazy because it has nothing to do with us. It was really usurped by people who wanted to be a part of that culture.
Like stop snitching.
Right.
We're teaching it to our children.
I don't know. I really feel bad when I see KD and you got young babies. Like that's I teach that level of children, and it's heartbreaking because they are now being born into that. So that's their life, and they can't help, no matter how good you are as a parent, they're still going out into the world without you every day.
Right.
And they're learning bits and pieces of things from people and maybe hiding it from you until you see it in their actions.
A lot of people are falling. A lot of children are falling because of peer pressure. Peer pressure is hard.
But it's not even peer pressure no more. It's not even peer pressure. Those children are coming to school.
I just want to be cool. I want to be down. People want to be Brandy so bad. People want to be Brandy so fucking bad. And it's so sad that they just want to be down. It's just sad. That's what I call it, the Brandy syndrome. Because you just want to be down.
It's been normalized.
Mm-hmm.
It's been okay. I noticed when I lived in North Carolina, um, all of the kids that went to my son's middle school, he said, "Mommy, they carry switchblades and knives to school." And it reminded me of like when I was going to high school in Baltimore, and I had friends that were going to Carver. And that's what I used to hear. I went to a different school. I went to a school in the county, but I heard, I had friends, a lot of friends that went to city schools that I still knew because I went to city schools in middle school. And I would hear that all the time. I would hear them like, yeah, you got to carry stuff. You got to carry stuff to certain schools.
And just imagine how worse it is now. It's
Right.
worse now. It's worse
The
now.
boys-
It done graduated from switchblades and razor blades under the tongue and in the hair to full blown guns now. It's full blown
the
guns.
boy.
I'm gonna tell you, all of that is still man-made. We are not. If life was really like that, you and I still living here, Black Roses, we would be afraid to leave out the door.
That's what I said.
Baltimore
I
is
said
not. A lot of this
thing.
is man-made,
Man-made fear.
social
Man-made
media
fear.
now.
Yeah.
Right, it's something that
Yeah.
people love. On
Yeah.
one hand, we love that Baltimore has this reputation of being body
Rough and tough and
we
thuggish
love
and
it.
ain't nobody
But
gonna
at
get
the
over
same
on
time,
me.
it's very embarrassing.
But it's very
embarrassing.
I
Because
remember
that's not
vividly
the
the
truth.
meme. I know you probably seen it too. I know y'all probably seen it very vividly. The meme where you're gonna meet one of 5 Baltimore chicks, and they had Just Hilarious, Krishan Rock, Jada Pinkett. Who else they had? They had Monique, and they had one other person on there on the meme where it's like you going. Oh, they had Tammy Rivera, and they had you gonna even run into one of 5 Baltimore chicks, and I'm like, wow, that's crazy. But as much as we don't want to seem
Well,
like,
people
no,
are
we not
living up
like
to
that,
that, though.
huh?
People are living up to that. You know why people
Exactly.
are so much on Krishan's side? Because many of them
She
have
act
changed
like
their
how they
lives.
act. She act how they
Right.
act. She act how
But
they act
that's
with the toxicity
not a
that they
real. It's
have.
not a real person, though. It's really
Exactly.
not. You are pretending to
Exactly.
be that hard, and when
Exactly.
you go home, you bleed like every other woman does. You do. Like you change your panties like every other. No man is that hard every day.
Mm-hmm.
I've dealt with some of the biggest criminals of the city, and when you one on one with them, they are teddy bears.
Oh
It
yeah.
hurts when they
Absolutely.
lose somebody
And I
like
feel like that's
everybody else,
any
but that is not a real
and that's
thing.
any man for real, because a man and this is a whole nother conversation for a whole nother show, but it's like a man is
Well, baby, we got
always
time. We
softer
got a whole
around the
hour and
person that
3
they can let
minutes.
their guard down, huh?
We got a whole hour and 3 minutes. Let's do it.
A man
I'm
is
telling
so
you,
much
like they not.
softer. A
Mm-hmm.
man is so much softer around a person that they can let their guard down with. Because I can see that.
I'm gonna
I've
tell
had
you
an
one.
experience with somebody that'll be like,
Who's the guy
I've had an
name who
experience
did
with
the
a
stop
guy.
stitching videos?
I've had
What
an
was his
experience.
name?
Who? I don't know his name. I never knew his name. I never knew
But
it.
we know the light skinned guy with the locks. We all know who we talking about, right? So
Yeah.
in watching those videos, I used to think when they first came out, I used to think this man was so dangerous. I was like, this man, oh, he must be out here killing people, and I remember myself, my
You looking
sister,
like
and one of
he
my
probably just killed me for looking at him.
right. But I remember we had went to a concert at Coppin, my sister and my best friend, and we were standing on the corner. I was waiting for my friend to come pick us up, and he walked by. He must have went to the concert because it was I'll never forget this. I feel embarrassed. It was a little scrappy concert, and he had came to Coppin, and I remember he must have went to the concert. He came out and he was standing behind us, and it was a van driving by, and the girls was like, "Look at your faggy ass," and
Oh
and
my God.
he got so they were talking to him, but then he was so bent out of shape by it, he pulled out this long silver gun and just pointed it at him. And of course they drove off. But I looked at him and realized it was the same person First of all, I said, this nigga walking. First of all, you walking. You walking. You don't even have a car, sir. So who you out here killing with no car? What you repping
How
with,
you gonna
with
shoot
no
me and think
wheels?
you gonna just walk away that fast?
Right,
Absolutely.
how you gonna walk away?
Going
But I
around.
could tell. But if you looked at his face, he was hurt because he's known. He also has another reputation with the little trannies of the city. But I could tell he was hurt. And he looked at me, and I'm trying to call my sister because this nigga got a gun because his hurt feelings are hurt, all broken on North Avenue.
And now he gonna
So I'm
shoot me, and
trying
I
to
ain't even
pull
do
my
nothing.
sister back so we not caught in the crossfire.
He ain't
And
gonna
this
shoot me, and
nigga,
I ain't even do nothing.
I remember me and my little sister laughing at every time we saw this clips of that damn movie. We would laugh because we realized this dude let somebody call him a faggy, and he almost was in tears. It looked like he wanted to cry. It really did. I'm not even making it bigger. It looked like he was hurt, like real hurt. And I was like, "Oh, we about to die now because we heard this." I really thought we were about to die.
Now
Because
we
it was
about to die.
nobody.
We
It
about
was
to die. We
nobody.
ain't do nothing. We ain't say nothing. We was standing.
I was standing outside. We were standing outside.
It's not funny because that really
almost
be
outside
happening
the
to people,
building.
and I feel so bad
And there
for
was
laughing.
nobody else outside though. So I really thought this was us about to die.
This
But
is it for me.
he
This is
has
my
that
demise. This is my
persona.
ultimate demise. I got killed by somebody who was mad that they call him a faggy.
When I say I have no respect for this man ever in life again, I never had it. But that moment made him human to me. One, but at the same time, it made me realize and look at all these rappers and all they have had to be that person to protect themselves. One, but at the same time, it's not real. Nobody can walk around like that every day, all day. He put that persona on like he put on those baggy jeans he had on. But I just want to get out this world. It is so ghetto.
My God.
This world is so ghetto.
That's not good.
It's real ghetto. But y'all fall in love with those types of dudes, though.
No, we don't. No, we don't. Don't say that. No, we don't.
You know what?
I hate that narrative. I hate that narrative.
I have.
Only type of people that like that kind of shit is ghetto ass bitches.
Yeah.
Ain't no real woman out here who working a 9 to 5, doing what she got to do, taking care of herself, taking care of her kids if she has any, really want a nigga out here on the corner selling drugs. We don't want them kind of niggas. Now, do we want a man who's going to be able to protect us? Absolutely we do, because ain't no way in hell a nigga going to stick, he going to smack me and you not going to do nothing. Now, do we want a nigga that's going to be like, all right, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But we also do not want no nigga that's out here on the corner risking his life every day, all day, with the pants hanging to his ass. I think that is so disgusting. When I was a child, I liked that shit. I'm a grown ass woman.
You know somebody who thinks that's sexy though.
Oh yeah,
you know somebody. Don't lie. You know
somebody and she's a ghetto ass bitch. And she's a ghetto ass bitch.
Right.
Very much like I said. Only ghetto, no nothing ass bitches like niggas like that.
Right.
That's and I'm gonna be honest. I don't like that narrative that all black women want a man who got 59 kids and we all want the Ray-Rays and Pookies of the world. No, we don't. Only people who want the Ray-Rays and Pookies of the world is the Shaquanas and the Shakishas of the world.
But you also
he was walking.
He is still on that. I cannot.
I hate him so
I can hear my sister saying it, but he was walking though, Nate. He was walking.
I would definitely take a 9 to 5 blue collar working over a nigga on the corner who begging for cigarettes and absolutely not. It's nothing you could do for me, sir. Absolutely nothing you could do for me.
But it also
I don't even want no kingpin. No, it's nothing you could do for me because I'm not going to jail with you.
But you can't blame them. You have to blame. You can't blame them. You have to blame their background, where they came from. They only following what they see. They only following what they know. Half of them people that you see out there, they fathers was drug dealers and kingpins. They mamas was the top tier girl. You know,
in the hood, in the hood.
So you can't blame them. It goes back into what Nate was saying, like, turning your back on people, that need help or things like that, and just saying, no, I'm just not going to deal with it. Sometimes it just takes, like we talked about in the last conversation about Nate dating the one guy and wanting to go to simple restaurants like Applebee's until he said, no, we're not going to do this. Or no, it's Six Flags. He always wanted to
Did you just say that about me? I'm not dating nobody.
I'm just saying, like, as an example.
Excuse me, Nate, you waiting somebody to take you to Applebee's.
That's what I had to stop her. Like, hold on, roll that.
It was Six Flags. It was Six Flags. The guy that you said kept wanting to go to Six Flags as a trip.
Oh yeah.
And you
Now
had
what Six Flags in New Jersey or the one that's in
the one?
No,
in Bowie?
The one in Maryland.
The one that's in Largo, Maryland, or the one that's in?
It wasn't even Six Flags at the time. It was Adventure World.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. And then they say he started introducing him to other things. You have sometimes it does take that. If he don't never know anything and ain't nobody ever going to give them a chance, how they going to know that what they doing look crazy? That you're not going to attract a certain person like that because you never know what they want. They might not want that hood ghetto girl that's sitting around the corner in Latrobe Projects with them. They might want somebody that, that's standing.
BlackRoses.
What?
So you don't just put out like that. What are you talking about?
I'm not talking about anybody.
What he say?
He said, "Who am I talking about? I'm talking about somebody specific. I'm not talking about anybody."
You got a picture, huh, man?
I do not.
She done painted a whole mural. God dang.
Right.
Just
Why
saying.
Why they can't be from down the hill or from
Or
the village? Why they can't
I've never been down the hill. I don't know what's down the hill. That's where I see
it. Why they can't be from
BlackRoses. You know what she doing? That used to be her life. Okay, we found you out.
Now you lied. You definitely lied, BlackRoses. You better not even agree. I ain't never.
Wait, let me call your mother. You know your daughter used to hang out down Latrobe.
She definitely know about Harlem Avenue. She could have.
My mother ain't know nothing. And guess what? You ain't see that.
A chick from Harlem Avenue or something. She could have said a nigga from
not
Harlem Avenue.
And guess what? Did you see that Harlem?
Not Bennett, please.
Did you see that Harlem? Did you see where did I meet that Harlem Avenue guy in a J30 over East Baltimore?
I don't know nothing about where you back in. All I'm just saying was what Latrobe got to do.
She met him in Latrobe Project.
I met him in a parking lot by my house. You ain't
just saying what Latrobe Avenue. Why you gotta call out Latrobe Project like that? Who you know from Latrobe?
I'm not. I don't know anybody from Latrobe now. I'm sorry if anybody offended that's watching it from Latrobe. Just whatever corner. I'm gonna say Bowling. I'm gonna say from.
You could have said from the village. You could have said from the village. You could have said from Douglas.
But see, that's you know what we're doing
from Bowling. From Bowling. From Bowling.
She's trying to express herself and let go of her past. I get
that's it. Right, and we gotta let her do it.
You met him at the Troll Projects. It's fine. But look at you now. Look at you now. You living in.
Look at you now, married with 4 kids.
I've never met anybody from the Troll Projects. Get
from the Troll.
Married.
I'm not saying anything.
Not from Latrobe to the retirement homes in Florida.
I am here to make a stand. Listen, I am here to make a stand.
I don't from Latrobe to the retirement homes in Florida.
I don't see what Nate is telling y'all.
Well, you moving on.
Ain't nothing wrong with.
Hey Nate, play moving on.
That's a big step.
But moving on up to the east.
It's nothing wrong with anybody from Latrobe Projects. I'm not saying that. I have never dated or met anybody from the Latrobe Projects. I will not. Don't put that disclaimer out there now.
Don't put that disclaimer out there now.
But notice she's speaking.
I'm putting it out there because I have never.
She's slick. No, you don't lie now because you ain't just getting.
I have never.
How the Troll Projects just pop out your mind like that? I wouldn't even. I'm trying to think of a.
You know where it came from? No, actually, you know where it came from? Because I was just watching a video about the kids that got shot in Latrone Project. So that really just popped up for me. I literally just seen that. I told you I was watching Murder.
Lord, that used to be me, girl. That could have been me.
Never. You ain't never. Okay? I'm lying. You ain't never caught me in Latrone Projects, but one time we had to record a song.
Didn't know you did. I couldn't have. I didn't know you.
That was just. Recently, we had to record a song, and the producer lived out of Latrone Projects, but he was a great producer. That's the only time you see me in Latrone Projects, and yeah, you best believe when we was in Latrone Projects, we were strapped.
But y'all went to Latrone to do the record?
Yes, that's where he recorded out of. But guess what? The song, that's where he recorded out of. I didn't know until I got there. Until we was recording for another video.
You was like, oh, it's Latrobe. Oh, yeah.
I remember that street.
I did not. I literally.
I used to hang in this court.
Never. I've never hung in Latrone Project. I've drove past Latrone Projects with my then kingpin boyfriend.
Looking for Mr. Mike. Okay.
No, okay. I drove passenger with my then kingpin boyfriend who knew people at Latrone Projects. His of course. Okay. No, but he didn't live in Latrone Projects. He lived out in Catonsville in a nice house out in Catonsville. He ain't living no Latrone Project
anymore.
Never. Okay. He never, because he had just came out of jail when I was like 17.
Out of jail? This boy just getting deeper and deeper. At this point, I'm scared.
Auntie lived in Latrone Projects. His auntie lived in BlackRoses.
No, he didn't. That was one of his drops. That was one of his drop-offs.
In summers. Okay.
That was one of his drop-offs. I'm gonna be honest. I ain't gonna put him out there like that because he doesn't do that anymore. He's a very successful black man.
So you can claim your Dundalk boyfriend, but you can't claim your Latrobe boyfriend.
I don't never put no names out there. Never. I ain't never put no names out there.
I thought you called that one white boy name. What that white boy name?
I did not. You ain't gonna get me to call it now. I did not. I
could have sworn you said his name was Alex.
I ain't never date nobody named no daggone Alex.
John. You said John.
Not calling names. I ain't say nobody.
You did Zachary. That's his name.
Zachary, oh,
the one she went to prom with. His name Zachary.
I went to Archbishop Curly with a Zachary. It could have been him.
No,
could have been.
I dated She talking about the wrong person. I dated somebody named Zachary, but she talking about the wrong person. I ain't never telling you his name.
You said that white boy that you went to prom with name was Zachary.
No, it wasn't. You thinking of another guy that I dated named Zachary that had tattoos.
Oh, wow.
But anyway, that's not it.
We just trying about 5 people in this 2 minutes. Wow.
2 minutes.
I mean, listen, I was young.
Well, now she got a husband and she's going up to the retirement homes of Florida.
Don't let BlackRoses fool you because where I had one, she was right beside me with one. So
this
don't
ain't got nothing to do with
her
me.
fool you.
That's the problem. That's the problem with you black people. Y'all always trying to bring somebody else in y'all shit.
I am.
On your shit. It ain't got nothing to do with me. We talking about your ass. What you ain't gonna do is think you're gonna pull me in this. Absolutely not.
I'm gonna pull you all the way there. If I was in Latrone Projects, guess what? Me and BlackRoses was like this.
I didn't meet you
me and BlackRoses was like this. So if I went to Latrone Projects, I guarantee you BlackRoses was in the car.
Because I ain't know nothing about this. This was way before she met me because she was hot in her age. Way before
lies you tell. I wasn't even old enough to go that way. I was driving when I met you.
And another lie and a lie after that.
But see, y'all taking away from the topic at hand. The topic at hand that we talking about. Because y'all not going to discredit these people that live in Latrone Projects. They might not have no choice.
No, we would never judge them. We would never
let somebody's situation.
That was
I've never dated anybody in Latrone Projects, so it don't matter.
It's giving liar.
Okay. It's okay though. Like it's fine. We're not judging you.
It's giving liar.
I have never dated anybody in Latrone Projects. I have been scared to go in Latrone Projects. I ain't never dated nobody.
Oh, good job.
I've never dated anybody that lived in the. No, I'm not gonna say that. I'm lying now. I ain't
Go ahead, lie.
I'm not gonna say I ain't never dated nobody live in the hood. I'm lying. I don't know exactly. I don't know. Help me out. You know me as You know me as your best friend. Have
I
you
don't know
ever
for
known
nothing.
me?
I don't know what you was doing when I wasn't around you. Me and you did
Michael,
not spend
we are.
24/7 together, ma'am. I don't know what you was doing
I'm
on
not
them days
talking
I
to
didn't
you.
see you.
I'm talking to the guy Michael. I'm talking to my old best friend. He knows me. He knows I ain't never date nobody from the
Oh, he
Let
said
him
you
know.
never been scared. Stop it.
I cannot. You know what? Take him off. He ain't even helping the situation.
What he say?
Uh-uh.
I can't see no comments because I'm on my phone.
He ain't. Take him off. He can go now because he ain't
Let me
even
see.
agreeing
Put his
with
comment
me.
up there, Nate. I want to see what he
It's
said.
okay. It said
supposed
you
to-
never been scared. Stop it.
I
He's
can't
supposed
see
to
it.
help.
I can't see
Turn your
it.
phone to the side.
He talking about I ain't never been scared to go to Latrobe Project. See, take him off. He can go too. He ain't making it no better. I thought he was gonna come over and side with me because he knows me. You know
You know the lies you be telling.
Latrobe Project.
Oh, she blind. Girl, put your glasses on.
Right. But anyway, getting off topic and getting back into this Black America. Thank you.
No, I don't think he was talking about facts about that.
Exactly.
See, he said just kidding.
No, he wasn't talking about that neither.
Yes, he was.
He don't want to be a snitch. I get you. I feel you.
He is joking. I have never, since y'all met me, I was a bougie little thing when I was younger. I was a hot girl, but I was a bougie little hot girl. You couldn't even date me when I was 17 unless you had a vehicle. So I definitely wasn't pulling no day going, look, we gonna go back to Latrobe Projects. I definitely wasn't getting nobody from Latrobe Projects. I was a bougie little thing. I was Bougetto or Bougetto, how they say it. That's how I was when I was younger. So I don't care who you get. You ain't never gonna get nobody that's gonna come over here from Latrobe Projects and say I dated KD. Never.
Or ever even say they in jail. Or something in jail or in a cemetery.
It's Nate saying the man is in jail for me. Like, Nate, you is stupid. Nate said the man is in jail.
But she said it too confidently. She said it too confidently, and she knows what to do.
Because I know where I know I wouldn't go that way. I wouldn't deal with anybody from not that bad. Again, not saying anything is bad with people from that area. I just know that I didn't want to be going to somebody's house and I got to duck and dodge from getting shot. I don't want to be that person. I didn't want to be that person. So I stayed away from those neighborhoods. But they taking stuff off topic. Back to the topic. Black in America's in the now. Because y'all ain't gonna bring KD into this topic. Let's talk about KD being black now from then.
Now from then. You a different black person than what you was back in the day?
Can I take it back just a second?
Just
not to
1 second.
Not to the what you call it projects. But I wanted to show y'all this image. And y'all know who this gentleman is. And it you know, in the theme of then and now, what's acceptable then versus now, and how we still remark on it. So somebody sent me this image.
I've seen that one.
Put up the Osley. You about to put up the Osley brothers image?
No, I wasn't gonna do that. I ain't gonna do it. But that is the then. That is the then. That is the then.
This is a now. Show the then.
No.
That was wasn't that just recent?
This is now.
No, this is recently. So this is his ebony cover, and we all know him from a lot of famous series that's been out and now movies. And like I think he just did Creed 3.
He's doing Creed 3.
Right. But a lot of people have been ridiculing him, and that statement that I made before about the demasculation of black men, that's what they're accusing us of. They're not even referencing or understanding what the reference of this image is. It's just the fact of him being this gay man and he's living in the closet
But he's not gay though.
Exactly.
And the outfit, if you look at the outfit, that's something that they would have wore back in the 19, when they had like
in the 70s.
Yeah, in the 70s. That's something they would have wore back then, the platform shoes and stuff like that. So why are we saying that when guys wore that and females were attracted to
Prince was dressing like that to the day he died.
Right.
But the image references a anime character. So in my research, it really is snowing outside.
In my research, I saw that the guy
did you look outside? Are you here?
Who, me?
Look outside. It's snowing.
He's on.
Oh yeah, I see the little flakes, the flurries. Oh yeah.
But
But
it
on.
really is
Oh
it
yeah.
it
Get your.
really is it really is a it's I think it's a problem because they're not even referencing the point of view of
Right.
the image. They just going right to how Hollywood is demasculating the
The black man.
black man. And that's where they stop at. That's where their comments
I've,
stop at.
I've,
Right.
I've always heard that though. I've always heard that from when they came out, with everybody talking about, let's go to the Illuminati. They say once they join the Illuminati, they end up doing, they were saying something about how they end up doing at least one female or transgender role, the African American males. And that's how they joined the Illuminati, because they end up putting wigs on them and doing one transgender or female dressed role.
But they're making it and that argument it makes me angry. One, because it says to our children and now to our adults that the only way that you can make it is if you sell yourself or you become a part of this Illuminati. And the
Right,
only way you can be successful is if you've already done those things. So anybody of any stature in our black entertainment, sports, business, they've gotten there not due to their hard work and skills, but simply because they sold themselves. I hate that narrative. I
mm-hmm.
hate that we spread that narrative because I ain't never heard a white man say that. I've only
Right.
heard black people say it.
People say that,
And
right?
it just speaks to our ignorance and our inability to realize how naturally talented we are. And
Right.
then when we go to this side, now I would
I
be lying
feel
if I
like,
didn't say the entertainment business wasn't filled with a bunch of people who had money, who like some freaky, nasty stuff. I would be lying. So I think there's a lot of truth in the statement. However, I don't have to participate in that to be successful. And we've
to
seen
me,
countless examples of that.
I'm not going to take anything away from that image. I think it was bold. And I feel like, honestly, if he really didn't feel comfortable with wearing or doing that photo shoot, I feel like he might have said something. I mean, I feel like really, I don't feel like anything is I don't know. I just feel like people need to, it's fine for people to be who they are. And I hate that, people get scrutinized and things of that sort, especially again going to us African Americans in our community. We are the biggest ones when it comes to scrutinizing people for, or coming up like you said, with these narratives. Oh, he's gay because he did that
Mhm.
photo, or he did that photo shoot, or like the rapper Lil Baby. His image has changed. You starting to see him in a lot of hoochie daddy shorts. You starting to see him in like these bell bottom pants, but he's a rapper. Lil
But
Uzi.
he's trying to fit into a narrative because he was doing things that he wasn't supposed to be doing.
But that's the thing. Like, why are we creating these narratives? It's coming from within our community.
That's
It's
true. I
coming
have to, like I said, there's
from.
truth. It's truth in the narrative. Just like you know, even a lie has a remnants of truth in it.
But are they going to stop buying his music? No.
No, no
His
one's. I
concerts
mean,
ain't
you
his
still have
concerts can
fans.
stop being sold out.
The people who spread these things aren't a fan of these people to begin with. That's the problem. It's the same. It's the same militant woke individuals who have a certain ideal and always have a conspiracy theory. Are there truths in our conspiracy theories? Hell yeah. This is a racist, misogynistic, homophobic um, country we live in, world we live in. So
Right.
it's a lot of truth still that exists in that. But what I hate is that we don't allow, and allow is a strong controlling word, allow each other to simply be who I am.
Right. That's
A
what I was
lot of these,
thinking.
what you're seeing now is not a is not a nuance. It's a renaissance of men
Right.
who are tired of living lies. You know how hard it is to live a lie every day of your life? You know how much life you miss living lies or
Right.
living in someone else's shadow or in somebody else's belief of what you should be? And
It's
as
the
black
same
people, we
as
should know all too well what it feels like to be living beneath our value, our dreams, our goals,
absolutely,
our worth.
absolutely,
And it's hard. Like I just hate how we go back and forth with this. We were so
absolutely.
progressive until and, and I shudder. I'm thinking of Dwayne Wade's son. Oh, I'm
I was
sorry.
getting ready to say I was getting ready to bring him up too.
Do you know how hurtful it is to have your mother speak out publicly and go against you publicly based off of you simply wanting to be who you
Be
are? You know how
yourself.
hurtful that is to
Be
have your
yourself.
mother deny who you are or who you feel you are
Be yourself.
simply because she just wants to be relevant in a conversation.
Right.
The same person accusing Gabrielle and Dwayne of pimping their child is the same person who's pimping your child. And there's a reason you don't have custody.
Right.
And why I wouldn't want to be around you either.
I was getting ready to say that I mean, you never see her. You never hear anything about her. I just thought something happened to the lady and Wayne Wade just had him. So I never
Well,
heard anything
I mean,
about
if you followed Dwayne Wade,
it. I
there
don't.
was some scandal when they got divorced and all that because he was really at the top of his game. He's retired since, but he was at the top of his game, and it came out as if he was this horrible person for leaving her, and everybody kind of took her side a little bit, but then she kind of melted back to the side. I don't remember hearing anything about her losing custody, but then you realize, hey, he has custody of the children. He's now married, and you hear more from Gabrielle Union about the dynamic of becoming a stepmom. So you don't hear about her. And I often like, are you just jealous?
You talking about his ex-wife?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's simply just, you know, who would want to be around you for not allowing them to live their life? And what we're seeing right now is really just, like I said, a renaissance of black, specifically black men allowing themselves space to simply be who they are. And that doesn't necessarily mean gay or bisexual or non-binary or whatever the alphabet is, but simply just to be who they are. Like
Right.
I've said forever,
Even
if I
before,
was comfortable wearing a skirt, I would, because I overheat very
You
easily,
know,
and y'all
to go
have the
back on
best clothing to keep yourselves cool.
the conversation that y'all had about the
Mhm.
Illuminati, and they said, when black men join the Illuminati, they put on this, that, and the third. But my question is, what happens when white people join the Illuminati? What do they
But
it's
they
the
put
don't
on?
same
say that
thing.
though. They don't say. They never say that.
Like they act like white people
It's
are
the
not in the Illuminati. What
No, it's the
happens to
same
them?
thing. They do because you know what? Going back to what Nate said, they because they are doing them nasty freaky things. They willing to do those nasty freaky things
Yeah.
that are behind
And
closed
some of
doors.
them nasty, freaky things is
Who?
coming from us.
Who?
Just people
Those,
in general.
yeah.
You've had a boss. Have you ever had a boss that was too touchy feely or
Mm-hmm.
said
Absolutely
inappropriate
not.
things?
Never. Never.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have had a boss that was touchy feely and said inappropriate things. And
I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all see my
sometimes
blanket. I'm
people get
cold.
it. Sometimes people get into power and they use their power to get
Yep.
the things that they want.
Right.
We just so happily the cards call that for celebrities or rich people the Illuminati. And you can connect anything to anything and try to make sense of it. But the
True.
fact is, the people that they're talking about are the people, the people who are in power in the industry, who then meet these individuals and say, well, if you want to get this, then you got to do this. That's not no bigger than normal thing. That shit is happening at Walmart right now. It's a supervisor at Walmart that just told a chick, if you want this 25-cent raise, suck my dick. That's not nothing we heard about these people.
Yeah.
That same Popeyes that young man just got shot in front of. That used to be a whole house. And it was said that, not said, because I'm not even going to say allegedly, because that's how it was. For you to get a white shirt as a young lady, you had to do a little slurping.
A white shirt from where?
From Popeyes, the one in the village. If you wanted to
what
get
you
your
mean, white shirt,
that means you was a supervisor.
Oh,
if you wanted to be a supervisor,
okay. You know,
and at one time we had about 8 fucking white shirts walking around in there.
I thought you was talking about like a white coat when they go get their white coat. Never mind. No, I'm so dumb.
Yeah,
I'm a little slow.
But we made it so much bigger than what it is. But it's just simply some fresh ass producer or engineer or manager.
A lot of people look at Ashanti. She said, "Look at Ashanti." She was talking about a producer who wanted to take a shower with her or a bath with her in order to get on one of his songs or get one of his beats. She was talking about who was it? Lotto. Lotto said, a rapper wanted to work. She wanted to work with this one particular rapper, and he like, yeah, you got basically cheer me up in order to get me to get on your song. If not, I'm gonna charge you X amount of dollars. Look at how many of the people in the industry it's being said, and it has been said for years that Diddy is one of the ones. Diddy does make people do all kinds of shit to just be around him.
But at the end of the day, nobody can make you do anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's like fame come at a price, but for what price are you willing to pay for it? What price?
Right.
Anybody can be famous.
But also,
anybody can be famous, but at what price?
But you just sucked a dick to get a music career. Now you're remorseful, or now you want to write a book about it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's to me, I'm not a well, if you did it, shut up about it. But
this is what I don't like about society, right? This is what I don't like about the whole taboo of sex, and I'm just gonna say it like this: we are doing it. We are all doing it. We are all doing it in some shape.
Most of us doing it for free.
But what y'all do is y'all sit there and make it seem like, because she's being known to be the freak. She nasty. She did this, that, and the third. But then you will go right behind her back and be her friend and to go suck the same dick that she sucked too.
And that's what just be real about it. Be honest.
It's jealousy, though.
To be honest.
You don't have to say
it's more jealousy.
We would literally do that as humans. We would literally be like, yeah, haha, look at her. She over there. She sucked the dick. Everybody knows she sucked dick, but you be the same one.
But
you be the same one. That nigga get you back there behind that door. You and him by yourself. Ain't nobody back there to tell it. Now look at you.
But to push it every further, just because you got on your knees don't mean that the next person got to get on there.
That don't mean it either. It don't mean
and no, I'm not a person. I understand what power is, but you'll never convince me that power is a decision maker. You'll never tell me
for
that
some who are hungry enough,
a young girl or a young boy was
who
around
are hungry enough, it is.
Yeah, but it's still a choice. It's still your choice, though. Now, if you was 5, 10, 12, and you were up against that type of power, I get it. You didn't have a choice. But when you 20, 30, 40, 50, get the fuck out of here.
And come out with them tell-all books.
And come out with the tell-all books.
It be the ones that be 5 years old talking about he forced himself for me. Girl, if you don't punch him, and I get it. And there are certain instances where, people are SA'd or people are raped. I get it.
That's right.
Samantha said them parents selling their kids too, like Aaliyah or
Mm-hmm. That's true. Hey Sam.
Like the Kardashians.
That's true.
But it
people selling like and that's what I'm mad about R. Kelly. Y'all need to lock up them goddamn parents that was sending their damn 17-year-old child over there for him to do a music video with or do a music career, and y'all already know he was in there pissing on people.
But he was a monster. But
we're not talking. We need to lock up them parents too.
Because I believe I was just watching going back to some YouTube videos where the two girls that ended up, one of the most recent ones, Ariel and Jocelyn. particularly
I
Ariel.
don't know nothing about them hoes.
I think she was telling the truth when she said that her mother and father took her to this concert and told her to say that she was 18. Because how are you going to tell me that your child,
But many people have said that in defense of Michael Jackson. I remember Kelly Price got a lot of backlash from women for saying that about her being on tour with R. Kelly. She said it was mothers and daughters dressed just alike walking backstage
right?
or getting backstage. Now, does that defend or justify R. Kelly or any of those guys' behavior? No.
No.
But you're not going to tell me that your daughter just made this decision on her own and you drove her to a concert and I'll be back.
I
And
particularly
you picked her up the next morning from a hotel.
Right.
And it was nothing ever said about it.
Right. I think that those, particularly that one little girl, that her parents made this big deal and they went out to Chicago, Illinois, and they was knocking on the little warehouse thing talking about they trying to save their daughter. I don't think they would have even ever said anything if
the money didn't run out.
Even farther than that, I think what happened was they went into a panic once he got caught and he started being put into the spotlight. They started panicking because now it's like, let me get my daughter. He took my daughter, but really it's like, I don't want to be put in the spotlight. I don't want it to make it seem like I don't want nobody to know that I put my daughter out, that we sold out.
No, I understand where you're coming from, but I disagree because then they go on TV shows and talk about it. So you don't want to be in the spotlight, but you don't mind being on this news channel talking about it in the spotlight.
I think it comes down to the money. I really do think a lot of them sold it. Right.
The checks ran out and they found another hustle.
Right.
Surviving R. Kelly, aka Surviving R. Kelly.
I feel like even all of that don't take away from the fact that he was a musical genius.
I don't follow him, so I don't really know.
His work is his work.
I ain't gonna lie, I still listen to his songs.
But that doesn't make you any. It's hard to say because of the content of some of the songs. I get that. I do. I get that. Age ain't nothing but a number. But
now, I don't listen to that.
We're now counseling artists.
We are even in the season of people saying age ain't nothing but a number. Age ain't nothing but a number.
Right. I've heard that.
We always singing that song.
I heard that.
We always singing that song.
And we still, because back then when we was younger, we were lying like hell about our age.
You tell me I wasn't. You couldn't tell me I ain't see a boy that was like 23, 24, and I'm telling him I'm 18 years old.
Lying like hell.
Here's the thing. We as women need to take responsibility for our actions in it too.
But we need to
start taking responsibility. Don't act like we wasn't 16 and 17 years old fucking with a nigga that was 24.
But listen, ladies, listen. In my opinion, I think many of you are. And many of you are then now raising your children with that type of understanding. Tell the truth. Be who you're supposed to be. The ones that we are hearing, the ones that are speaking out are the ones who are looking at a money grab.
Oh, of course.
Are looking for attention.
Uh-huh.
Who did not get through or get past some of that trauma.
I can clearly remember when I was pregnant with Jalen. I was pregnant with Jalen and I was 16 at the time. I had him when I was 17. And my baby father was 20, turning 21. And the nurse was like, your baby father, the child's father, how old? She's like, that's rape, right? I'm like, rape? That's not rape if I consented to it. She's like, that's rape.
Why did they ask you that, though?
I don't even know why she asked me how old was the father. I was like,
was it the birth certificate? Was it the birth certificate?
No, I was going to an OB appointment. I was actually going to an OB appointment.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I gotta say that's gotta be.
Let's not act like we don't have 16 and 17-year-old girls who are lying to 21 and 22-year-old fellas, telling them that they 18 years old. Because let's be honest, there is no difference between a 16-year-old and an 18-year-old. Nothing but age. Both are equally as dumb, and one can only get a job, and they both can get a job. It's nothing really different in appearance between a 16-year-old and 18-year-old. Now,
It
no
is.
way.
It
Let
is
me
a
just
big difference, but it's a
hold
big
up.
difference because that
Disclaimer.
16-year-old
And
needs permission from
no
their parents
means.
to work.
Hold up. Let me see. In no means am I saying that this is okay for a man to go mess with a 16-year-old girl. I am not saying that. That is just as equally wrong. But
Let me
if a
hold on,
guy
hold
is
on, hold on,
approaching
hold
a
on, hold on.
girl,
Wait a minute, 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 wait. Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute.
go ahead, put your disclaimer up there, Nate. Thank you. But this is just the thing that this is how these men get into these tracks with these girls. You got these 16-year-old girls who looking like they 25 going out here with the. You even got girls
Mm-hmm.
now that's 16 with the lashes, the nails, and everything. And there's nothing that you can tell that's different between her and another
Nope,
woman.
nope,
Nothing you can tell
don't.
different. She got the lashes, she got the ass, she got the titties, she got the everything.
But
She got
sometimes,
the hair down her back.
but sometimes, okay, so I'm gonna go on the boy mom side because I had an incident where me and Kylie went to, and Kylie is only 13, but he's
Mm-hmm.
really big. He looks older for his age. You can really probably think he's maybe
Are you
6,
going to get him his
7.
age majority card? I
Am
know
I
that
getting
sounds
him
old as shit, but
Huh?
his what?
I mean, you go to the DMV and you get him an ID.
Oh, he
Oh,
can
I'm
get
like,
an ID.
oh,
Yeah, he can get an ID.
yeah. So
But
he's
I'm only saying that to you, like, really think about doing that. One, the state you're living in now. But I remember my mother. I was like, Ma, I'm only 13. What do I need an ID for? And she explained to me because they think you older than what you are. I had facial hair since the 5th grade. So
See,
she's like,
I can
you
see
look
what you're
older than
saying
what
on
you
that.
think you are.
I didn't think of it in that sense at that time, but now you got me opening up
Mhm.
my mind to it. Or, well, I can't open up my mind to it now. But when Jalen was 14, he got an ID only for work purposes, though.
work purposes. Yeah,
So
that's what most people get
I
ID.
get it though. I can see. Yeah, I would. If I had a child that was 13 or 14 now, I would go get them an ID. As soon as they turn 13, I
Mhm.
would go get them an ID just because.
Because they treat our children like grown ass men.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
That's how they treat our children.
and Kylie is the youngest. He's not even the oldest, but he looks older. He's taller. He's
Mhm.
more, toned. His facial features are even a little bit more stronger. So he always gets confused for being a lot older. Like I went to when my mother was in a hospital a couple weeks ago. Um, she left her medicine, and I had to go in there and get her medicine, and I had him and my other son with me. And the lady was like, "Do all y'all adults need to go?" And I'm like, "No, wait a minute. These my kids. They only 13 and 14." But the lady was like, "Only one adult," or something like that. She had the way she said it. I was like, "No, they going with me. They kids. They not." It's like basically like leaving my other kids downstairs. No, we all
But
going.
look how, and if you look into your son's face, you see a child.
Yeah, I
But when
see a
they
child.
look at
Somebody else wouldn't see a child.
because they're looking at the aesthetics of that child, not
Uh-huh.
they're looking at his
Uh-huh.
build, they're looking at his height,
Yep.
they're looking at his mannerism. But if you look at him, you see a child.
Yeah,
But I
I
Like
remember
get
my
it
mother. We were
all
standing
the
I'm
there.
even thinking about the instance where a white man called the police on the little black girl collecting bugs or spraying or spraying bug spray, and he called the police and told the police it was a grown woman outside spraying bug spray, and they got that it was a little girl. It was a kid who was trying to do something good for
But
the
that's how they
environment.
see us, though. That's how they
That's
see
all
us.
they see. All they when they that's what I'm saying. When they look at us, they don't see, oh, that's a little girl. They see, oh, that's a grown ass woman.
But not
I
to
don't
take
like
it
that.
back, take it off the topic of what you were speaking about, which I think is serious, because the same thing is true. Men do and ask questions later, and I think that is not an excuse. But I know plenty of little girls while we were in high school and middle school who was getting picked up by grown ass boys, and it was cute. It was cute. They thought that shit was cute.
They sure did.
But look at like if you have younger aunts and uncles. My uncles and aunts are closer to my age than to my mother's age, and I remember them getting picked up and dropped off at my mother's house by niggas with maximums, and that shit was cute.
I was
Them same dudes was but it was acceptable.
It
And
was.
That's what I'm
who's to
saying.
say?
That's it right there. And it was acceptable then because we didn't know any better and nobody was teaching us any better.
That's any
Now
better.
that we're living in an age where even if you brush against a woman by mistake, you sexually assaulting her. Even if you make a mistake and bump into a woman, oh, you sexually assaulted me. We are living in a time now where any little thing that a man do to a woman that is not her consent is sexual assault. Or
I just said that to someone this morning, and that's a real fear now. I was on a group text with somebody, and the way I was speaking was in a certain professional way, and the lady, she sent me a private message like, "You are being real professional right now. I need you to be real the way we talk." And I said to her, "I know you." I said, "I don't know this other lady, and I can't speak aggressively to her because I don't want to be considered that dude, and I don't want to be reported as that dude because I'm speaking my mind justifiably, but there's a difference." And it's a scary space that we're in right now. One, because people are still looking at grown men, little girls and boys as grown men and women.
Yes.
And at the same time saying something to them, because if you're in a club, you're not thinking about that this is being, especially for men, when you see a young lady in a club or somebody you think is cute, the last thing you're thinking is I'm dealing with a child. One, because men got to go through a ironclad security system to get into the. They're looking at yours a lot harder than they looking at hers. So the last thing you're thinking is, oh, they just let her by because they just damn near, gave me a cavity search to get into this club. So you're not thinking about that, and again, it's no excuse, but at some point, there's a conversation being had that I don't care how grown that little girl is, she can't handle. But again, how many girls do you know that was 14, 15, 16 telling dudes that they was 20, 21?
Yeah.
He ain't asking for no ID. I do. Let me just say, I do. If somebody come into my store and they look too young, how old are you? Because I don't want no smoke from nobody, mother or father, about them spending money that they wasn't supposed to.
I didn't know how old my husband was when before we got married. I didn't know how old he was. It was never I guess in my defense, and we both said that, we was like, why didn't we know how old he was? Because my husband was 19, I was 23, about 24.
Look at her.
But it was never a conversation.
Nate, look.
We worked at the same job. We both worked as security at TSA. We both worked for TSA. He worked in a government job, and he's like, would you really expect to be working a government job, driving a Mercedes?
Right, and you wasn't thinking about it.
Right. It wasn't until we actually went and had our first child. Even I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be honest. We never knew how old we were. It wasn't until we went.
I was too Baltimore for me. That's some Baltimore shit. Right
we
there.
had a baby, our first child.
Let me quench my pearls. Because ain't no way how you been with this man ain't know how old he was.
Did not. Because remember, we had David like a year. Was it a year? Yeah, 2008. 2008. We started dating in like June of 2007. We had David in April 2008. So we really never, it wasn't really a conversation that ever was, like I said, when I met him in the airport with his uniform on. He's 19, he's working a government job. When I got outside the airport in the parking lot, he's driving a Mercedes Benz. It was never really anything, you know what I'm saying? Like he carried himself, even when he dressed outside of work, he still carried himself to be more mature. He was paying all the bills for his mother. So it was never really a question. So I really didn't know it, which I should have. You know what? I'm going to take that back. I should have known something, because one thing that I did tell him, and we laugh about it now, is stupid. When we would go to the bar, he would always ask me to go in the bar for him. He would sit in the car. I don't know why I never took that and thought about it.
Because
Looking at that man couldn't even buy a
he
damn
knew
drink.
how to get
He
by
couldn't even
though.
take you
He
to the
knew how
bar.
to
He
get
couldn't
by.
even take you to
He
Applebee's
was
and get
sitting
you
in
a
the
damn
car.
Bahama Mama. And you having
He
sex with
was
this
sit-
boy?
Shut up.
That happened to me when I was in my early 20s. I had met these at work. I had met these friends, and they started taking me to the docks, and we would go to the bar before.
Look
And
at me,
mind you,
Nate. Look at me, Nate.
I never was a drinker, and they would
I
actually
wasn't even old enough to get in the
go in
paradox, and
there.
I had to use her fake ID to get in.
You used
Oh, well,
mine?
you was going. I don't know what night you was going on because they ain't never asked the girls for their ID.
We was going on Friday nights. And this was she had her little check cashing ID.
That must have
And I was 17 years
that
old.
must have been in
17 years old
that must
taking my
have been
young
in
ass
Black
up in the
Rose's
paradox.
church girl phase. That must have been your church girl phase.
Don't keep putting me. You're not going to keep putting me out there on blast.
Not at all. Not my church.
No, I was talking about.
I'm talking about her. Talk about telling people I had a fake ID and all this stuff.
Girls, you know you already said on this show you had a fake ID because your mama took you to get it. This was
Don't
before
put
I
my
knew
mom out
you.
there.
This was before I knew you. I didn't even know you at this point.
Don't try to make my mother out to be one of them all Kelly
I
parents.
started hanging out with you. You like, yeah. She said it before. I'm gonna go back and find that video. Where she
You ain't gonna make
my
mama out to be one of them all Kelly parents. You is not gonna make Angie out to be an all Kelly parent. You ain't gonna do my mama like that.
Y'all.
Don't put her on there. Don't let her bring that video up on it.
No, but I just and that's a sticky subject, molestation and rape and but it's really is a sticky thing. And what I hate about it is we are so one-sided with all of our gripes, and we never look on the other side, because I know just as many 15 and 16-year-old boys who got their virginity taken by women in their 30s or 20s, and they knew how young those boys were. So you sometimes, we have to fix the issues. I hate when we say, well, we got to get our young girls together. We got to get our, we got to get your children together.
Both, right? It's both. I've had my husband tell me he went to the pizza because my 13-year-old, I'm telling you, he doesn't look. He's taller than his father. His father is pretty tall, pretty decent height. Mm-hmm. He's taller than his father. He went into a pizza place, and the lady was talking to my son, because my husband called me. It was like car getting picked up by an older lady. She just bypassed my husband and was like, "How old are you? What's your name? I seen you before." But my husband said that lady looked like she was well into maybe 45, 46, somewhere like that.
But that's how they are. I remember my uncle had a girlfriend, and she used to be very inappropriate. Like, before she would leave, she would always give me a kiss, but she was always drunk. Mm-hmm. And she would chase me around the house and make me give her, and nobody ever said anything.
That's what I was getting ready to say. Did anybody feel that was inappropriate? Because you do see that. Because
again, it's a woman, and you're not thinking that she has children. So why would she be? And I was just a real shy kid, so I would run away from her, and it wasn't planned, but she was how when somebody kiss you and they drunk, their lips be all wet and juicy and cold. It was just nasty. And I remember nobody ever saying anything
because she was a woman,
right? And I wasn't even a teenager then. I was probably under 10.
And that woman could have been molesting you, and everybody not know nothing.
And ain't nobody
even believed it. They wouldn't even believe it.
Yeah. And that happens a lot to little boys. It happens a lot to little girls. We just look harder when it's a little girl.
I'm on everybody, because when my husband called me and was like, "Yeah, this old lady," I was like, "What's her name?" Because I'm about to come up here. What's her name? You think it's funny, but I don't think it's funny.
Let me place my order.
Right.
And you know what? I'm learning not to be so serious about things, because it confuses children, one, but at the same time, it's not all that's not called for. And you can just have a conversation like, "Hey, baby, that's my son, and what you're not gonna do is play kissy with my son."
But the other thing is that I hate the fact that we don't take it as serious when it comes to males, we need to have that same conversation with our sons that we're having
It
with
has
our daughter
happened.
to let them know
Exactly.
what's inappropriate. That
Exactly.
is
It has happened several
But
times.
see,
Like church,
you know,
you
I
know
had
them
a
nasty church
conversation with
ladies.
somebody. I had a conversation with a guy before, and he was asked. I asked him a question about what would you do if your 16-year-old son got a 20-year-old girl or 21-year-old girl pregnant. He said I would congratulate him. Congratulate him.
Yeah,
But in the same breath, he said he would lock his 16-year-old daughter up in a room.
yeah,
Excuse me, you would lock your
yeah.
16-year-old daughter up in the room, but for your
And we
16-year-old
wonder why our
son,
children
you will
grow
give
up
him a
with
pat on the back.
confusion.
or
But
even
that's the confusion we grow up in.
or
That's
even
the
going
stupidity.
or even going as
Mhm.
far, another thing that I noticed, or even going this far, another thing that I noticed that's a pattern is how we push our males, our sons, to make sure they have a girlfriend. Oh, why you ain't got a girlfriend yet? Oh, you see anybody in your class? But when it's the daughter, it's like, you better not have nobody. You better not have no boyfriend. You better not do this to this boy. But when it's our males, it's like they kind of like, you ain't got a girlfriend yet? What, you gay? Type thing. You understand?
But look at the lesson that's being taught there. So in my household, So growing up, I had a cousin. I have a cousin, and we're like 4 months apart. And so, but she's older than me. I remember my aunts taking her one weekend, and when she came back, she was like, they was talking to her about sex, and they was talking about her, and that's because she kind of blossomed a little bit faster than I did. So it was obvious that she was probably having sex. But I was going to an all boys school. I had a lot more freedom. Nobody talked to me about sex. Nobody gave me any talks about my body and what's appropriate. And I ended up being the one that was molested. I ended up being the one that had people being inappropriate towards me. But the
Do you
Mm.
lesson
think
that is taught in those situations, you teach your daughters how to be sneaky because they know you watching them, and you teach your children, your male children, to be irresponsible. So you teach
You
them
said
how
that. You
to
said
just go
that.
out there and make
You said a
mistakes.
word right there.
You
now
can
from
make
your own
mistakes, and you expect for them to not do it the right way and just learn the hard knocks. And your daughters are sneaky. Your daughters out
right?
here fucking your neighbors, your friends as fathers and mothers. The Asian man at the corner store fucking them because
Or
you're
your
teaching her
daughter
to be
sneaking
sneaky.
boys in the house when you're not home because she know your
Ah,
schedule.
mm, 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 mm,
Mm-hmm.
Now,
mm.
Nate, I don't know, Nate,
Whew,
from you speaking on your personal experience, do you think if it
mm.
was a different conversation that was had with you, that things would have went differently?
Uh yes, because those conversations, whether we know it or not, teaches your children how to have value in themselves. So
Mm,
what was green to me, what was un what I was unaware about was my value.
mhm.
And so especially for men, if that happens to a man, he wanted it. It's
Yeah.
cool, you're a dude. It
Yeah.
happens.
Or we
But
making
when
fun of
you
men
are
who out here who are being raped by women or who have gotten raped by
woman,
women. We're making fun of them because like, oh
yeah,
nigga,
Right.
that girl ain't raped you, nigga. That girl ain't raped you.
You wanted it,
yeah.
right? She a
And that
girl.
and that is I've been in both of those situations. I've been in situations where I've
But you know what?
spoke.
You know what I heard a guy say in Lexington Market the other day. I guess he was. I don't know if he
First of
was
all,
trying
you're
to hit on
quoting
the
somebody
girl.
from Lexington Market. Let's just start with
Huh?
that.
What'd he say?
I don't care how new it looks. You're quoting somebody from Lexington Market.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell
I
you what
just
he
want.
said. I was listening to the conversation. He was loud enough. He was right there beside me. But he was saying how women who dress a certain way when they're supposed to be at work get surprised or shocked when a guy try to hit on them. He like, how you mad at a man for trying to hit on you when you dress like that? And I'm thinking to myself, just because I want to walk out here naked don't mean I want you to ask me anything.
But that's a new concept, though.
That's your
That's a new.
But
That's
yeah,
a,
but
that's
that's
new.
not even new. That's just the whole way that men think in general. Men think
that's
that because a woman can dress provocatively, she wants to be catcalled and sexually harassed. What
But
in
that's
the
a
part of
that's
your
a
damn mind? Unless I'm a
but that's a
stripper, do
that's
I
a
want you to?
learn. But we can't
But
be mad at
it's
them.
learned. And
All
that's
we
what I
can
was about to
do
say. It's
is pray
learned
that they
behavior.
change,
It's
because
learned
that's learned
behavior.
behavior. Yeah, that's
Because
learned
there's
behavior.
no way that only way if I'm dressed provocatively and I want somebody to call me like that and I'm at work, that's because I'm a stripper. And that's my job.
And
But
not
if I'm
even then.
outside and
Not
I want to
even
wear a
then.
short skirt or if I want to wear some short shorts, that don't mean I want you to touch me or say
catch
something
me.
to me.
Especially
But
when
it
you
don't. It
go,
don't mean, even if you're a stripper, it don't mean that I want somebody to necessarily touch me.
but
I
I
mean, but
think,
that's their job. But that's their job.
But that is not their job to be touched, though. It's their
True,
job
unless
to
you got
dance to
money.
you.
Unless you got money.
And it's still up to their discretion,
It's
though.
like you right. You
So
are
it's
absolutely right about that.
and
but
that's
you
what
also,
we have. But that was I'm trying. Oh Lord, ask your son. I want you to interview your son one day, both of you all, and and ask them questions not based off of what you taught them, but what they naturally think, based off of what they've heard from other people or seen other people do. And you're gonna be shocked at some of their responses, because a lot of these young men have been taught directly, indirectly, verbally or by sight, that a woman shouldn't dress like that. You know, when they're with their mother and someone's dressed like that, the first thing the mothers do is come over here. Or if you're around certain types of people, get over here. And you're teaching them that there's something wrong with that. So
well,
now you're teaching your child that that's something that's something forbidden. I need that. That's basically
well,
what you said to your children.
the thing I like particularly about my older son is
Mm-hmm.
we, as far as them and their, we try to teach them the right way. But the thing I like about them is they all have this personality that surprises me. It shocks me because I feel like at their age, they are way more mature. Particularly my oldest son. We were standing in the Dollar Tree, and it was these
Mm-hmm.
three girls that was around his age, three young girls, and they were standing at the front of the cash register because they went before us, but they knew the cashier, so they end up talking to the cashier. And in that
Mm-hmm.
conversation, these girls standing right here and they are loud at the front of the cash register. Dollar Tree was so daggone big. So if you standing in line, you can hear everybody's conversation if you standing right at the front.
Mm-hmm.
These girls started talking about, one girl was like, yeah, I had to run out here real quick. I ain't got no bra on. Then the other girl was like, shoot, you worse. I'm worse than you. I ain't got no panties or no bra on. And then the cashier was like, yeah, I forgot my bra. The cashier said, yeah, I forgot my bra. So I didn't say anything. I just kind of was like, but like you said, for kicks, I just wanted to know what my son's opinion was, because he was standing right beside me. So I know if I heard them, he heard me. He was standing right beside me. So when I sat in the car, I said, what did you think about that? Like, what was that whole thing? Did you hear them? He said, Mommy, that's just disgusting. That's nasty. Why would you even say something like that out loud? And it kind of gave me a proud parent moment to know that that's just ridiculous. You
But
just don't.
I'm gonna say two things. As that young man grows up, the world that we're living in now is going to tell him he's wrong for feeling that way, for two different reasons. One, because he's a man and you shouldn't be squeamish about free flowing titties. And
No, but just
two,
nasty.
I'm gonna say to you, the world that they're growing up in now, this is not the world you grew up in. But the world they're growing up now say a woman can do anything she want to do. But
That's
and
true.
then on the flip side of that, your son was watching your behavior in that moment. So often, the reason you're shocked, because some of the things that your child naturally, instinctually is knowing or responding to, or how they're responding, is not based off of what you taught them, is what you showed them. So they're getting their lessons from your actions and
That's
your behavior and your communication and your interaction. But the fact that you talk to your son about it now, that's an open door. So now he's watching you. most of the stuff that my mother taught me, I watched my mother's reaction to stuff. I can tell you what my mother loves and what she hates, and it had nothing to do with what she said to me. I watched her response to stuff. I
That's
watched
true.
how she reacted to people. She could
That's
say
true.
whatever she wanted to out her mouth, but I watched her. I
That's
watched
true.
the people around me, and for me in our era, it was very confusing because you had people saying one thing and doing something else,
That is
or
true.
you had people blatantly doing what they was doing,
Mm-hmm.
but it still was a level of respect, a semblance left of it. But now your son is your son is wrong for feeling that way because a man can't tell a woman what she can wear and what she can't wear or what she's supposed to wear. That's the reaction in today's world. See how confusing that is?
Mm-hmm.
Like you're not teaching your son that a woman should wear a bra. You're saying to him, "Hey, that's not conversation I need to hear as your customer across
Right.
the counter." That's that's
That's
that's
true.
what we're but
It was
that's not how it's
inappropriate
being talked
conversation,
about.
and that's how he reflected off of it, that it was
Hmm.
inappropriate. He thought the same thing that I didn't say anything to him. I just say, hey, what did you think about that? He
Hmm.
felt that it was an inappropriate conversation,
Right, right.
and he's only
But
14.
but just know it's a
Mm-hmm.
different, it's a learning curve in today's world that is just it's out of control. It's no. When I responded to that young lady this morning, it was I was telling my honest truth. I didn't go into any heavy explanation, but I know if I would have been more direct in my tone, I would have been seen as an inappropriate man,
Right,
not somebody who was saying what I felt or how I felt, but I was just being inappropriate. And that's just the world your son is growing
right.
up in. Unfortunately, both of your sons and your daughter are growing up in right now. Where we're telling women you can be whatever you want to be. Men, you're right here. And that's because things have been reversed for so long. But now we're treating our men we have been the way women have been treated.
And it still goes back into the topic, like black being, being back in America then and now. It goes back to that. We were taught to be, as black individuals, we were taught that this is what we couldn't do. This is what you're not allowed to do. Black people can't do that. Black people
Mhm.
can't own a house. Black people can't have, own land. You can't do that.
And what are we hearing right now? We're hearing women can't do that. Women shouldn't do that. Gay people can't do that. Gay people shouldn't do that. Hispanic people, we're hearing that right now in
Right.
other ways, and we're not even acknowledging
Knowledge
that
it. Right.
to
That's
those
what I'm trying
special
to get to.
populations of people. We're actually doing the exact opposite. We're denying it, and
Yeah.
it's just it's a strange place that we're in, and it's scary. And like you're not scared in this world
I
because
definitely.
everything. So you're 39, right?
Yeah.
Old ass ladies, but we
You 39, right?
I know I'm
I'm
trying to.
right at each
Cause
other.
I still get used to saying it. It's about to be over already. But it is. We grew up in a certain. And I'm not saying so the era our parents grew up was still different than ours. But
It
I'm
definitely.
confused at 39 because there were certain things that I thought was what it's supposed to have been, and we're at a different phase of life, and we're learning that all the rules are changing. This all the rules are changing, and
Definitely.
it's a scary place for me to be in as a black man, knowing that tomorrow the rules are going to be different than they were today. Literally tomorrow, there's going to be something that comes out that makes a rule or a way of life obsolete from today to tomorrow.
I agree with you. As a boy mom, as a mom of three black males, I definitely agree. I have these anxieties every so often because I fear that when I'm not here, of so many things in the way that everything is changing, so many
Mhm.
things that could possibly happen to my boys as black men. And
Mhm.
how, one day I will not be here to help to jump in. Even if I am here, they still doing things that we can't control.
Mm-hmm.
That's
It's
scary.
it's it's scary. I had to finally make the decision 3 weeks ago, and I know I've said this several times, that I cannot go back to the school system because it's not a safe space for me. With the leadership that is present, with the present parenting styles that are now prevalent, is not a safe space for me. And it was one of the most hurtful things because imagine me doing this since I was 22. I'm
Yeah.
39 now. So a way of life, a means in life is now cut off. And I
Yeah.
have to reimagine how I can do this outside of a classroom. And we have there's no contingency plan in how we as a black culture can live anymore because those ways of life, no, we no longer have to put our heads down and walk to the other side of the street when a white person's coming. We don't have to do that. But now I have to watch what I say in a
Okay.
workplace
I was
environment,
never say that. You have
in
to
a
watch
school
what you say.
building, in a friend circle, on the internet. I have to watch how I say. I'm in Facebook jail right now, and I'm really in a halfway house system because I made a comment on my own page based off of what this white man said on his live. And he was allowed to say it. His live is still up. But because my page was monetized, I was slapped on the wrist and all my monetization features, most of them, two of them have come back now. So when I do these shows, we're still monetized. Again, back. But I was slapped on my wrist because I made a comment about someone else's racism, blatant racism, and all I
But they
did was
can say what
repeat
they
what he
want.
said.
But they can say what they want. I see it all the time when you see these racial things happen and you see certain social media posts that are put up. You see a line of racist underneath it. Like they say any and everything, but you don't see like they on there. They're not being, you know, they're not being taken off, they're not being reported. Maybe, I don't know, but I see it all the time and I'm pretty sure
Hmm.
that they're still being continued to use their social medias.
Yeah, I'm in jail for the next 16 days because I repeated a comment that a racist made and quoted it.
That's
I quoted
crazy.
it and then I commented under my quote of it, and it was just
That is crazy.
it's like we don't. I don't know what world we're living in now because
Yeah.
you get it from your own. You get it like the call is definitely coming from inside the house, but it's just this not used to be invisible one, but it's out there in the world now. It's out there in the world,
Definitely.
out in
Definitely.
the world, and they're so comfortable with their racism, just as comfortable as we are with our ignorance and our self hatred of ourselves. And that's a scary place to be in because what is tomorrow going to look like? What does tomorrow look like if we're already in a space where you can get it from any angle?
True.
It's just a weird space to be in. It's weird
Yeah.
and it's unfortunate. So,
Yeah.
I don't like when people say that racism doesn't exist, or
hmm
I don't like that because it's literally people out here to this very day in 2023. There are still Ku Klux Klan members. There's still sundown towns right now
hmm
in Alabama, in Texas. There's still places that black people are not even allowed to go in.
Yep.
But still
So it,
getting lynched. Let's take it back further.
Mhm.
I just seen a post where the little boy got lynched. They still lynching him.
And
But it was
it's so crazy to me that white people will act so oblivious to the fact that, no, you guys have this and y'all have that. And it's like,
they
be
not
fucking
being
for real.
oblivious. They
But
acting
but but
themselves.
what if
Be fucking for real.
They acting
what if
themselves. They showing you them.
what if we took on that attitude? You know how much unity you have to still have a sundown city
You know,
or
that's what I'm
sundown
saying. I
state?
said, why? I'm thinking to myself, why don't we gather 200 people and go to this sundown town and stand in the middle of that town when
No,
the
no, no,
sun
no,
goes
no, no.
down.
Why go there? Why go there? We're not wanted there. Why go there?
Because what are they
What
gonna
what
do
if
when we
we
do
did
go
that
there?
in our own cities that we are the majority? What if we did that?
Right.
We
And
do that
not
Exactly.
now.
only if we did it, but what if we put our foot down and said no one is coming into our city, no one
Right.
living in this city. We don't want you in our city. What if
Right.
we said we
I
have
don't
enough people that go
understand
to a
where
city
we
to be
got
able to do
this,
that? But
and
guess what?
I
It's
get
gonna be
that.
one
I
of us
like
that
that
snitch.
because I
It's
don't
gonna be one of
understand
us
where
that
black
tell.
people get this such a forgiving spirit when it comes to white people. Where the fuck do we
Right.
get that from? Where the fuck we get
It's
so forgiving
fear.
for?
It's not given. It's fear. That is called fear.
Mm.
Right.
That is fear of.
That
It's
is
not. I'm trying to. That's almost like sacrificing your own in order to be safe from.
Mm-hmm.
We're still afraid of them. We're still very much so afraid of them in many scenarios, and we show it. We show it
Mm-hmm.
when we don't speak up at work. We show it when we don't show up at the vote on voting days. We show it when we walk past crime scenes and we show it on a daily basis. We just laughed and joked at Trump for 4 years, but gave him so many props about giving us money that already fucking belonged to us.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just that's us. We want to be picked. Pick me culture is a real thing.
It's a very real thing. The pick me culture is so sad.
right.
So not even speaking on a space of solutions, what do you as an individual want to do moving forward in this type of all the stuff that we talked about today? Like as an individual, what do you want to do moving forward? Or how will you move forward?
I think for me, the biggest thing is just changing which I keep saying it, but just changing your mindset. Stop falling victim or feeling like you have to be apologetic for anything. Like really just changing your mindset, teaching your kids, you know, what's right from wrong. Don't have them, in the dark. Don't have them in the dark thinking that something that is something when it's really not. Like let them know, be upfront.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. For me, I guess I'm just gonna keep doing what I've been doing. When I see something, I'm gonna speak about it. I speak
Hmm.
about it. I don't allow certain things to just dictate how I move. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, I ain't
Hmm.
going over there. It's this over there. What? No, come on. You
Because
know,
why
I
shouldn't
just
you?
yeah.
They go where they
I can't.
want.
I can't really say I know how to answer that question, and I'm gonna be 100% honest. I really don't know how to answer that question
They go where
because
they want. They do
unfortunately,
what they want.
yeah. Unfortunately, I am one of those people who it hasn't happened to yet. You know, we all think about what we're going to do when it happens, but I'm just one of them people that it has not happened to yet. Not saying that it won't happen to me because I know it very well can.
But what is the thing that you're talking about? What hasn't happened
Whatever.
to you?
And I'm talking about this
Just
entire, everything that we talked about.
any type of encounter.
Any type of encounter, anything. You know,
But
even when it comes down
that's
to,
honesty in that. There's a lot of freedom and honesty
mm-hmm.
in that response because you are aware that there are
I'm aware that
people
it can happen, and I'm aware it,
suffering.
and I'm gonna be aware when it happens around me.
Right.
I'm
Hmm.
aware that it can happen to
Hmm.
me, and I'm going to be
Yeah.
very aware when it happens around me.
But
Hmm.
that goes back into what I was saying, making your kids aware, because if you pay attention, a lot of these things that happen, a lot of these situations where we end up with back into this Black Lives Matter thing is because our kids don't know. They don't know their rights. They don't know their laws. They don't know, the laws of driving. Don't just teach them how to get a driver's license. Don't just teach them how to go to driver's school. Teach them the laws. Don't just send them off to college. Let them know their rights while they're in that state. Make them find and figure out what the law, so they can speak up, so they'll know what to do and not just be sitting in a situation like getting pulled over and thinking, oh, it's okay for them to question me in this way. Or it's okay for them to make me get out of my car. It's okay for them to search me. Make these kids aware. Help your kids to learn.
Hmm. Yeah.
But even making
It's
them aware, it still ain't going to do nothing. Because they can very well feel threatened and say, oh, I felt threatened by him, or I saw his cell phone, I thought it was a gun and I shot him.
But so that's true. So making someone aware does not save them.
Does not save them at all.
What
does
you're
not
trying
save
to
them
save
for
them
what
from.
could happen.
However, what happens is it puts your child on notice.
Right.
Because
that's what I'm saying.
Sometimes we as adults, we know when something about to jump off in a club. Well, let me get my shit and get out of here.
Right.
We know that mentality, and often, in many cases, your child does not have that same sense of sensory
at all. Look how I left BlackRoses at the tunnel, and she ain't know to run behind me.
Right.
It didn't happen.
I was going out that daggone club. We heard gunshots. I was going down that daggone street. She's still sitting there on the phone like a bad white woman talking about what happened.
But sometimes, and I remember being young and being in those situations and not knowing what to do, because there was never, it's no way for your parent to prepare you for every single thing that's going to happen to you as a child.
There's no way.
But what happens is, you still have to give them all the information that you can, that you know to give them, because it's not. There's something that they're going to be facing. A friend of mine, daughter is getting bullied at school, and I said to him, I said, it's not anything you want to hear, but you need to teach her how to fight. And my daughter don't need to know how to fight. I said, well, you're sending your child out into the world on her own, in danger. The child will be in danger.
Acting like your child ain't gonna never get into nothing.
But to know how to defend yourself is a valuable lesson.
And
I think the first fight that I got into, I almost got sent to jail.
I don't think anybody goes into life and thinking I ain't gonna never get in no fight, or even just go about like, oh, somebody gonna want to beat me up one day. Fighting is a survival skill. He was very, and this is a father speaking. I've never heard a father say something like this. But again, he doesn't want his daughter to. I swear to God,
My understanding was he didn't want his daughter to feel as though that was her only solution. I said that's not what I said.
I love black men to death, but I can't stand it when it comes down to their damn daughters, because they act like this just get dumb. Like,
but they are just like women raise their son, but just like women raise their sons in the image of the man they want. Men often raise their daughters in the image of the woman they really want. And that's what they really looking for. So I got what he was saying, but I told him, as a teacher, you are setting your child up for failure.
You sure is. Because there ain't no way in hell you got your daughter out here not knowing how to fight.
I gave him an example.
Somebody somewhere gonna want to try her. And she gonna say, I don't know what to do. She going out there windmilling and get punched in her goddamn
But she's already getting bullied. And like I said to him, I said, my very first fight, I hit a little boy. You know those desks with those like, they look like marble almost, but it was like the chair and desk that was connected.
I
split a little boy head open with one of them. Because I had never been, I was in the 6th grade.
You okay?
Right. I was in the 6th grade. I had never been in a fight before. And I was terrified. And the only thing that was between me and him was that desk. And when he turned around to laugh at what he just said, and when he turned around to punch me, all I knew was to grab that and hit him with it. And I saw his head, literally, I just saw blood. And I helped him up. And I took him to the office. And then I ran out to school because I just thought I was about to be arrested. And what I said to him, I said, well, nobody ever thought I would have needed that. Nobody thought I needed that. So nobody said, hey, we should teach Nate how to fight. Because we sending this boy all the way across town to school with all these boys, and we don't think he gonna get into a fight. And that's what everybody said. Nate, you're not the fighting type. I'm not. That's why he got his head split open. I didn't know how to effectively, now I do, but I did not know how to defend myself. But you got to teach your children valuable lessons. Every time something pop into your head, call them. Wait till you get home. Tell them about it. But we don't sell our children stuff like that. So they grow up making the same mistakes that we
made.
All right. Well, this is definitely our show. That's
hey, she ready to go. You all right? You got something?
I'm supposed to be at the beach. I supposed to be at the beach 30 minutes ago. I still got to put my I still got to
care about your
you
Shady Pines, your Shady Pines Beach, your Golden Girls Beach. Don't nobody care.
Look, the old wrinkled white man walking around the beach. Don't nobody care about all that.
Wait till but as soon as y'all come down here, then y'all gonna be all talking about because we up in Daytona at the beach.
Now we can go to Daytona, but we ain't going to the Shady Pines Beach.
That's what we're going to be going to Daytona.
We ain't going to Shady Pines.
I wish a big fat man in a Speedo come lay right beside me.
I wish that motherfucker would. I'm calling the police. Well, I'm getting ready to go to brunch with friends. So y'all have a great day.
Okay.
I'm getting ready to go to brunch with my best friend and her daughter and her daughter's friend. So
let's hope it don't snow because it stops.
Well, it stopped. It ain't supposed to stick though. It's just supposed to flurry.
It's little flurries now. It's not heavy.
Yeah, it's not heavy.
Oh yeah, and then I gotta go. Yeah, we supposed to go to Daytona because me and David anniversary is this week, so we going to do some things on Monday.
That's nice.
Yeah, we've been married.
Like hooker culture to me.
14 years. Yeah, we've been married for 14 years now.
For 16.
Oh,
well, look at the Lord blessing your marriage. Well,
we've been together for 16 years. I think.
Well, look at the Lord. I think
y'all
should take some time out and say a prayer for y'all marriage and just keep asking God to continuously to bless y'all and continuously to keep y'all strong and keep your marriage strong.
Absolutely.
So take that time and say that prayer with each other.
And keep him strong. So
you said what?
Oh no.
What he say?
And keep him strong. Get some honey packs.
I'm crying. Because baby, that thing gonna go limp in 2 more years.
Shut up.
Wait a minute.
Shut up. Y'all forgot he younger.
Just said something, sweetie, because that thing gonna be
younger.
like, oh. That thing gonna be like, oh.
He's younger than me. Thank you. That's how you keep him. You get a young one.
Look, Nate, that thing gonna be like, oh.
That's right. You get a young one. You keep him young.
Get y'all some honey packs. Go get y'all some honey packs.
Anyway, that is the show. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. If you want to become a sponsor, if you want to become a sponsor,
food and see how it goes.
If you want to become a sponsor,
put the honey on his food. Don't put it in his drink.
You email. Make
sure you can't do that. That man.
Flip it in his Hennessy and shake it up, baby. You're going to have a good night. She's going to have a baby.
You don't know how you going to handle it. Don't do that.
She's going to be pregnant.
That man is pregnant in the middle of Walmart somewhere.
She better get some juice out. She's going to be pregnant. She put a honey pack in his Hennessy.
He is just fine. I don't have no complaints. He's just fine. Don't be no baby. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe to the show.
We're going to have an I.Am.She a baby shower.
I'm getting off the show. I'm so done.
It's about time for to have another one anyway. How old is
It's not. It's definitely not.
It's about time for y'all to have another one.
It's definitely not.
Gemma 6. It's time.
It's definitely not. There is no more children. There is no more children.
You got one more before
you know what? Just for that, karma is a mother, and I hope it come back to bite you in the. She gonna pop up.
These
she gonna have herself a little bus driver.
These eggs is fried, scrambled, and broiled, honey. Ain't nothing coming out this cool.
Anyway, if
she
you guys
have herself a little midget bus driver.
Don't worry about it, because if I am, I'm going right to the fucking clinic.
Because it's your prerogative to do what you want to do.
That's my prerogative. If I want to go to the clinic and get this bitch pulled out, that's what's going to happen.
No, that don't work.
Maryland is still a legal state to go get an abortion in, babe. I'll be right at the clinic. Don't worry.
Anyway, if you guys
won't like it, I said it.
Put that disclaimer back up.
Right at the clinic, honey. See, you in Florida. You can't go to the clinic. You in Florida. You gotta keep that baby.
I'm trying, cause she just. I'm gonna find a way to put it over top of her.
Definitely. If you want to become a sponsor,
she in Florida. She can't keep her baby. I'm in Maryland. I can go ahead and get mine took out. You can donate for the research. Go ahead, donate it to research. Thank you.
Keep that up. If you want to become a sponsor, please don't let Black Roses deter you from becoming a sponsor of this show.
I don't care what they say.
Please don't let us deter you from becoming a sponsor of this show. This is still a lovely show. We just not going to entertain her comments. Her comments and opinions are hers, so don't let that deter you away from I.Am.She.
She gonna be right at the clinic too if she had a baby. She gonna be right at the clinic. She 52 years old. She can't have no children.
Don't be telling nobody my business. You keep my business to myself.
We're gonna have Katie gonna have us a baby, y'all. We need one.
Anyway, you will not see me with anybody's baby. But anyway, if you would want to become a sponsor,
that's why all her kids got the same birthday. They was all conceived around the same time.
I'm going by Nate. I can't even get it out.
Their birthday 2 weeks apart.
Hold on, wait. Let me get the banner up. Hold on. Go.
All her kids is 2 weeks for her birthday. Their birthday 2 weeks apart.